conceded 65 goals against. You know, so that means there's something that needs to happen for them at the back. Though, to their defense a bit, they've lost to Ukensani Nkuna, who's gone to Celtics and has been stellar in that back 4-year Celtics. And they've also lost their goalkeeper. Now they have a new goalkeeper in there, Kgaunakala, who's trying her best to really, you know, make their score sheets look presentable. But in that also, they are still able to score goals because by our top, Alama one goal somewhere. It's just that they are unable to shut the back door because we've seen them score brilliant goals against the Indies as well. But it's been really difficult for them to get the ship going so far. Only 3 goal scorers in their team right now, which is Omukloiwa, Ndimane, and Skalvik. Yeah. And it's not enough for them.
It definitely isn't. And we look at a Celtic side, Gloria, that is high on confidence. They beat JVW midweek. It was a goal that came in very late in the 99th minute, courtesy of their goalkeeper. So namhlanje, they're probably going to look at it as a great opportunity to capitalize on that momentum.
I think for many, one would look at this team and say today's fixture should be a walk in the park. And one should be seeing an avalanche of goals, considering, as you've mentioned, the result against JVW. Bloemfontein Celtic have been a team that are expected to be in the top half of the log, and they are slowly making inroads. Coach Tata Haraba is really seeing his players coming to the fold, understanding the mandate, making sure they deliver, and you're seeing some intelligence within the team. But it also shows that patience is paying off because there's been a consistency in the side. They're buying wisely, and good to see Chabaku coming back home. She played for Richmond before, and she's back in the side. But a Bloemfontein Celtic that has suffered just 1 defeat thus far, and that was against Mamelodi Sundowns. And you also get a coach that's very realistic that says, I'm prepared to lose against Mamelodi Sundowns, but any other upcoming team, I'm taking them on. And rightfully so. He's got the players. I mean, you got Mahlakwane, who's really banging in the goals, quite an exciting player, who doesn't understand her own potential. She doesn't really play according to her potential. If only these players could realize how special they are, she could be one of those players that I believe should be there within the national team, making use of her height. She's such a wonderful player. But looking at the team today, certainly a wonderful side that is expected to get the 3 points.
Absolutely. And of course, speaking of the national team, you will be aware that across these 2 days, only having 5 matches, and that is because Sundowns, UWC, JVW, Angege Badlale this weekend. A lot of their players are in the Banyana squad that is preparing for the upcoming tournament. But just in terms of yesterday, 9 goals scored. My Indies defeating Durban Ladies 1-0. Thunderbirds, an avalanche of goals as they defeated Vasco da Gama 6-1. And of course, it was a Gauteng varsity derby as TUT defeated EUJ 1-0. I look at that, Vasco da Gama suffering another loss, and yet they've changed their coaching personnel. Uzbuza ukuthi akuhlangani na.
Ziningi izinto ezenza ukuthi kungahlangani kuxolo njengamanje because umubuka I saw their match against ETUT midweek. They had 13 players warming up, which means only 2 of them joined. A lot of them that were there, they came in school uniform. Some were coming back from work. So which means that midweek game is really a nightmare for most of the teams because even Coach Richmond is saying the same thing. TUT is facing the same thing. UWC, UJ, most teams are facing the same thing because lack of resources means a lot of the players that are in those teams, they are young, they are scholars, or they are working because it's not a full-time job. A lot of the teams cannot pay a salary for these teams. One team pays a salary, Sundowns, and TUT gives a stipend, and the others it's bursaries and all of that, which is difficult, really, about your transport money. So you can just imagine, Guti second round the league is Obanjan, because some of these players have got good players in their team. So bigger teams are going to be going out there to say, let's bring you in a better team where you can get treated better and all of that. And it's not your fault, Yama teams, because you fired a coach that did well in the playoffs, in the Sasol playoffs, because he had a full squad in there. They were in camp. All of them were in one place. Nobody was going to school doing that. That shows you, Guti, that team has so much strength. This is one of the teams that I've looked at in the whole league where it has 16-year-olds in that team that can control, pass, shoot at any range. They've got technical qualities, but it's difficult for them to stay and compete for so long because of those discrepancies that are there.
There's also another element, Coach. When you're dealing with such young players in the side, they adapt to a certain coach and they have certain habits which allow them to sort of respond to the coach. And with Coach Calvin having been part of the team for quite some time and them dismissing him at this juncture, you're certainly going to see a disruption in the side.
Of course, it's not just the Vasco da Gama that fired their coach. Also, Coal City Wizards fired theirs. Usizwe is now gone. They sit on the 11th position with only 12 points to their name. But the fixture that we'll be concerned about is their Golden Ladies, rooted to the very bottom, -31 in terms of the goal difference. Only 2 points in search of their very first victory.
Yeah, definitely. Today is the day when Golden Ladies should be trying to turn the corner. But it's going to be a big ask. They are up against a very well-oiled machine, and sitting in 16th position is definitely not where they want to be. Because we've got to also be reminded that we are facing the relegation season where it's 2 up and 2 down. So if they are not going to be with 2 points, it's really concerning times. And they would probably use the international break to great advantage and maybe even acquiring players.
And now we see UWC has in fact leapfrogged HWBSL. At some point, they were actually top of the log, and now they find themselves on 3rd, and that is because of the losses that they've suffered. Also, very heartbreaking in terms of Gabriela Salgado, who got injured in that match against Bloemfontein Celtic and now not going to be a part of the Banyana squad.
It's going to be a big blow for both teams, JVW and Banyana, because we know the quality that she has. She can play on either flank. And obviously, that is a sore, thorn for them. And I mean, if you're looking at the Celtics, if they win today, they go to 3rd spot. They keep on going further and further. One of the things that I heard the whole team and their coach saying is that we want to go and play CAF. And you can see their intentions are clear from the beginning with the players that they've acquired, with how they play, and they can play a 4-5-1, a 4-3-3, a 3-5-2, and all of that happens because in their midst, they've got 8 players that are on the scoring sheets. Right now, Mahlakwana is on 6 goals, and all of their attackers, they've got 2 goals, 1 goal. Even a goalkeeper has a goal, which means their team are in a confidence. They are structured, and that speaks to what we've been talking about, Lo, the whole league since it started, Guti. The difference with this season is that teams that have invested in a good coach, quality coaching, great players in the team, structure and support, you can see with how they are playing.
Absolutely. I feel like Bloem Celtic Ladies really has been the dark horse that has been putting in the stride, putting in the work, which is why they find themselves in such a great position to be able to go to 3rd should they secure the victory today. But just in terms of how they've been playing so far, they've only incurred that 1 defeat, and of course it was against Sundowns. But since then, they've won 5 of their matches, drew 4. And of course, they have a squad where 8 of their players are able to score.
Absolutely. That speaks to the coach not being very reliant on an individual player. And when you have players all over the park that have the ability to score, it gives you the confidence as a coach to say, my goal can come at any point in time and from any given player. Not forgetting the strength in the defensive half of the field. We're looking at a goalkeeper, or you're looking at 6 clean sheets for this team. And you're also looking at a goalkeeper who's high on confidence that saved a penalty as well. So when you have a strong defensive structure, it forms the platform to set up a great attack. We're looking at how many goals have they conceded? 7 in total. And that's not too bad for a team that also has scored twice as much, or nearly twice as much, with 15 goals. So they're banging in the goals, and they are also trying to be very, very conservative defensively and being very stingy. So you've got to make sure as a coach, you shut the back door, you start building. In the midfield, they've also got some exciting players. Nicole Michaels, she's really a revelation on the left-hand side. And on the right-hand side, you've got Pesa. So you just need to get that balance in the midfield, and this coach is definitely looking at a well-oiled team.
Absolutely. And of course, in terms of these two teams, they've met on 4 previous occasions, and all 4 of those matches have been won by Bloem Celtic ladies. Let's take a look at their form guide.
Perhaps there's no better time than now for Bloemfontein Celtic to face a struggling Golden Ladies outfit. The latter's form guide paints a bleak picture. Celtic have often dominated games between the two sides, like the 4-1 drubbing in their previous encounter.
I'm very disappointed because everything that was happening to this game, I did prepare for that. I did prepare my players well, but it's unfortunate to commit those mistakes, those silly mistakes then, but I'll go back and fix them in the training.
Celtic haven't been themselves lately, a point highlighted by their coach as he lamented seeing his side only pick up 1 victory in 3 matches.
Can you imagine losing 3 points in the space of 4 days? It's really a step back, you know. But I'm proud of my girls. They fought the whole 90 minutes. They didn't stop, and I always encourage them to, even if you can miss 100, if you can score 1 and win the game, it's good.
Golden Ladies are the only side in the league without a win this season. Pretty grim for the babies. There have been changes in the squad and things aren't clicking away with urgency.
We've got the new players here. We are building the Golden Ladies. We are still building those babies, but we'll get there. And I'm telling you, give us a couple, time will tell, and then we'll bounce back.
From the technical team's point of view, Punya Selesele are better than their form guide has suggested, and maybe the revival they need can come against Golden Ladies.
Moving forward, I think we'll just have to work more on our finishing and also our decision making.
I'm telling you,
And of course, the coach of Bloem Celtic, Utato Haraba, talking about how they need to work on that finishing. But a great result from them midweek in terms of defeating JVW 1-0. There was that goalless draw against Ima Indies, and of course suffering a 2-0 defeat to Sundowns, which is what we said. He was okay with this defeat, bearing in mind that these are the treble champions.
Coach realistically, coach in the next 5 games, where can I get points? How can I get points? And when you have objectives like that with a team, it becomes easy because then the players understand you don't want something that's not there from them. And they're able to also say, Namhlanje, this is a type of lineup that you need that's going to get you goals. This is a type of lineup that's going to go for Kurash Balwele Yonkinto. This is a type of lineup where you want to rest players. And I think he's very strategic in that. Then it helps also when you have depth in your squad because you can play with 3, you can play with 4 at the back, you can change equally capable goalkeepers in your squad. That's something that's good, which I wish the teams in the bottom half had the luxury to also explore.
And of course, in just 2 weeks' time, they'll be up against First Touch. And then after the Orcon, they'll be facing Durban Ladies and Coal City Wizards. In terms of Golden Ladies, they have changed their coaching personnel. It was Ufusi Mutawung who was at the head, but now we see Uti Umlungi Sinzegu is now the new coach. And he's saying, give us time. We are going to be bouncing back.
Mlungi Sinzeku is a very experienced coach when it comes to women's football, and I'm going to take you back to the 1990s when he was coaching Galaxy in the Vaal. I'm sure some of the people don't even know of that particular team. But yes, he understands women's football, and him asking for time is because, yes, he needs to get to understand his players before he implements his objectives. But yeah, you're looking at the score, the results that he's had, a 3-1 loss to Ma Indies, a 4-0 to Richmond, and a draw to Tsunami. Although today, realistically speaking, it's really against all odds. He doesn't have that much quality in his side, and maybe the break will do him a lot of good in terms of trying to get the players to understand. But in the midfield, you're already seeing in terms of his style of play that in the midfield he's got using the 2 holding midfielders in Sotetsi and Muremi, that he's really wanting to protect the free scoring that teams have had, and more importantly is your goalkeeper as well, who's got to make sure that she keeps you in the game. So for the coach, he's slowly getting to understand the players, and I think when you get a very passionate coach like Coach Mlungisi, the players should respond. It's a matter of time.
Well, all the action is going to be taking place at the Northern Cape in Kimberley, to be exact, at the De Beers Stadium. Let's catch up with uVusiwe uManqobo ukuthi kwenzakalani kuleyo nkundla.
Thank you so much, Xoli. A good morning to you and, of course, to all of our viewers at home. Now, windy weather conditions welcome us to De Beers Stadium out in Kimberley. And first up on the menu, it is Bloemfontein Celtic, currently sitting number 5th on the log with 19 points. They come into this encounter on the back of that 1-0 victory against JVW, which is a good confidence booster for the team. Kanti namhlanje they will be playing host to a Golden Ladies team that is currently at the bottom of the log. They are looking for their first away victory. Not only that, but they're looking for their first victory altogether in the HWBSL Super League season so far. They've only managed to accumulate 2 points. So Coach Nzegu and his troops, knowing ukuthi something has got to change. So today he will be looking to rely on some of those key players, the likes of Ntimane as well as Skalkvek, to get the job done for him, because he does know that this is a relegation season and that things really do need to change for the team if they are looking to not get relegated. And then for Bloemfontein Celtic, their home record actually looks really good, and coach Tato Harabe will be looking to continue with that momentum of doing well in his home games. Of course, he will be relying on his tried and tested, the likes of Nicole Michael, Kensani Nkuna as well, in that in terms of the players he's looking forward to relying on today. As you can see, both teams are behind me already warming up, getting ready to get this game underway. It's looking quite patchy, it's looking very dry, so it will be a cause for concern for both teams, because as you know, if it's not nice and moist to the pitch, that ball doesn't move quite nice and fast, and it also slows down the tempo of the game. And finally, before I take you back to the team in studio, a quick look at the weather conditions out in Kimberley today. We are sitting at 15 degrees Celsius, humidity levels at 45%, and as I've mentioned, there is a strong wind coming in at about 10 kilometers an hour. So it will be quite interesting to see how the team handles this wind as well as this pitch right here. But for now, I take you back to the team in studio.
Absolutely spot on. That pitch definitely is a cause for concern, but it's not going to be an excuse, especially when it comes to the coaches. Let's hear from the Golden Ladies' new coach, Nzegu, about their preparations ahead of this encounter.
Golden Ladies coach Nzegu joins us now. Coach, namhlanje, you are looking for your first victory away from home. Not only that, but your first victory in the league altogether. How do you get 3 points? What changes are you making to try get 3 points on the board?
Thanks, Manqobo. Thanks you, the viewers. What we have prepared for this game from the previous game that we played on Wednesdays to Mondays, we have moved more midfield in our center where the ball is being played. We have made it compact for difficulties for the opponent to penetrate us, as that was the issue in the last weekend. Yes, we have got injuries, but we have maintained that we bring the fresh leg, the fresh mind. We are well prepared for this game. We know that it's been difficult. We never win a game, but it's a different ball game. And I'm so happy because our injuries will recover also to this FIFA calendar. But the bottom line is the 3 point that we have to fight today. That is at stake. Yes, the changes are there, and especially with our formation that is 4-5-1. You can see the midfield there is packed, and then when we go out, we are going to use our wings, of which we didn't use last week.
And coach, you're confident that by strengthening your midfield and utilizing your wing play more, you'll be able to get the job done here today?
Definitely for sure. Definitely for sure. I can't say otherwise, because I have to tell you that this formation is the one that we are looking when we especially go out in games, because we have to close down the opponent in terms of penetrate us in the midfield and decide where to put the ball.
Golden Ladies coming into this match on the back of a 3-1 defeat to Ma-Indies. It was Ntimane who actually scored, and Siyambona in the starting lineup, Lulu.
She has 4 goals to her name. which means she's going to be one that's leading the pack. And I think Coach lineup yake, he's talking about how do we go out to close down the opposition first. I like his approach because for you to win games, you need to shut the back door, get your defensive organization right so that your key players in attack, Abontimane, Aboskalveik, also Gama, who's up. And I see he's got 4 changes in there. Tau comes in, Zoteti comes in, Merementi comes in, and Mohale comes in, which means he's looking and identifying which are the loopholes that are in there in his team. So he looks confident, and I'm also enjoying the fact that he's realistic. He knows what needs to be done right. He just needs more time with his squad. It's unfortunate he's coming up against a team that can deploy any formation and Baba Pazamise, but I love that he's realistic. Team yake wazama weakness when he's looking to fix that.
And Nento Kuluma Kulu was just in terms of the injuries that are currently plaguing the squad, you know, and the fact that this upcoming FIFA calendar is going to help with recovery of a lot of the team players.
Well, a lot of the teams, besides Mamelodi Sundowns and JVW, who've got quite a number of players that are called up in the national team, this break has really got to be used to their advantage to fix up a few things, to make sure the players that are injured are well taken care of and the recovery process is well managed. So sometimes the break does you a lot of good, but sometimes it breaks the momentum for those teams that are doing exceptionally well or just about finding form. But I think for Golden Ladies, it will certainly come at the right moment for coach to make sure that he gets his players well managed and their injuries are well maintained.
For Bloem Celtic, so far they've scored 15 goals, conceded only 7. So it will be interesting to hear now from coach Thato Haraba in terms of how they look to put those goals at the back of the net.
Bloemfontein Celtic coach Thato Haraba joins us now. Coach, let's talk about umdlalo wanamhlanje. It is a derby for you, so you probably do have a score to settle, but also just talk us through mhlambe ama changes and wayenzile from your midweek game. We know that from your previous encounter against my Indies, there were a lot of things that you were unhappy with and that you wanted to work on and rectify.
Yeah, definitely. Coming into this game from the Wednesday game, there's only one change in the midfield. And also we're trying to push more players forward, playing with 3 centre-backs at the back. So yeah, it's basically we having more attacking options and then lesser numbers at the back.
And let's talk about your goalkeeping department. We know that you've had to make a change there. Is that a concern for you at this moment?
Definitely not. If you can check the number of clean sheets that we have, so it only be complemented by the competition and training. So yeah, so Clio comes with good experience and she's ready for the game.
And you're certain that today you'll be able to put another 3 points towards Bloemfontein Celtic against Golden Ladies?
Yeah, that's what I'm hoping for, because these are my homies. They're from my hometown. So next week when I go home, I want to work with my chest up high. So, but yeah, honestly, we really need to this win. If you check the log, just checking the number of goals that we scored, you check number 3, number 4, we really need goals. So I'm hoping that if we win this game, we win it with a very big goal margin.
A coach high on confidence after they defeated JVW 1-0. Their goalkeeper.
No, worry not. But this is a coach who's very realistic and restoring belief in his players, making sure that they do the job. And you're looking at the lineup, you're looking at a defensive, a 3-5-2 formation with Mkwena, Nkuna and Makota, packing the midfield where they want to dominate. And you're looking at Mohale being very, very keen, protecting the back. But Michaels and Pesa definitely with their pace on the left and the right hand side. But it's Rapatsa and Mahlakwane, the free scoring players that will definitely be a thorn. And Puti and Khachane for Golden Ladies will have to be very, very careful. But again, you're looking at a coach that's very happy, that's smiling, which when you've done your job, you just allow your players to go out there and enjoy. And you can see the belief that is being restored in Bloemfontein Celtic.
Absolutely. Quick predictions. Lulu, Gloria, how do you see this match swing?
Coach Haraba uzohamba phakamisa amahlombe next week Magayikhaya Northwest, but I think this one is going to Celtics.
Okay. Plenty goals and bragging rights as he's looking for to go back home. That's Bloemfontein Celtic. definitely taking 3 points.
Unanimous in studio. Bloem Celtic will be walking away with the victory. What happens on the pitch in these first 45 minutes in commentary? Spetu Tulimia in Vernac, and of course Uspiwe Mkonza is also going to be joining them with Ray Kuhn in English commentary. Let's take you through to that encounter. Bloem Celtic ladies up against Golden Ladies. Yongobuba.
It's been a contrast of stories and fortunes for these two outfits in action today. Bloem Celtic, well wedged in 5th position and sitting comfortably after their biggest win and 3-point haul of the season against 3rd place JVW. And for Golden Ladies, it was a case of new week, same old story for the away side as they journey down to Kimberley, but they does yield an opportunity for them to restart and inject new life into their relegation struggle. Hello and welcome to one and all to De Beers Stadium here in Kimberley, which plays host to this Sunday's early kickoff between Bloem Celtic and Golden Ladies. As we can see now, just the recap of the warm-ups that took place just a couple of minutes ago. Golden Ladies getting well underway, getting ready to take the field. A much needed victory is required for the away team this afternoon. A side that hasn't managed to capture a victory just yet, only managing to muster up 2 draws throughout the season. And for Bloem Celtic, a really impressive victory against JVW midweek, thanks to a wonderful late penalty goal by their goalkeeper. Yes, I said it, their goalkeeper, who slotted away that penalty in the final minutes for Bloem Celtic to capture that much-needed victory over JVW, and a chance for the Bloem Celtic team to potentially crawl into that top 3 position, the money positions, as they say. So a lot to play for, yet another match, and the HWBSL Super League with so much significance and importance. Just the warm-ups once again getting concluded, but now we can see both sets of teams getting ready to take the field. These coaches spoke half-time, beg your pardon, before the game, about how important it is to capture that win today, not only for Bloem Celtic to win, but Coach Haraba said winning with such a large goal margin, because he paid attention to the goal difference between the teams, both above them and below them, and it's so important to not only win today, but to win by a massive goal margin. Just a slight delay here in kickoff, of course, the 2 teams still in the tunnel. But just a reiteration of the conditions here in Kimberley. It is rather cold and it is rather dry conditions, of course, but it's conditions that you should expect in Kimberley. Definitely a pitch that does have the odd bumps here or there, not quite as moist. So the ball will be maybe a little bit more difficult to travel smoothly and quickly along the surface. So both teams will be maybe opting for that long ball strategy. Only time will tell, but the ball is eventually given to today's match official, Lindiwe Chamane, and eventually have now decided to make their way out. It's Bloemfontein Celtic hosting Golden Ladies here at De Beers Stadium in Kimberley. Bloem Celtic, of course, in that famous green and white, and the wayside Golden Ladies in a change strip, also adopting that green and white as their home kit, but now having forced to wear that pink, or rather raspberry color, as they make their way to the field. Now a couple of changes in both in the formation and in the personnel, but we'll get to that just a little bit later. We can see both these sets of players just a little bit nervous, slightly excited, and only time will tell who will become that difference and where the difference may lie between these 2 teams. But just having a look at today's team list, of course. Motha Kuana, the number 11, making her start again. 6 goals for the Bloem Celtic team. Nicole Michael becoming another mainstay, the number 22 for Bloem Celtic, and a change in the goalkeeper position. Chabaku coming in for Muletsane, who of course is preparing for that Banyana AFCON campaign.
Thank you so much, Ray. I mean, Celtics today are coming with a 3-5-2 formation. I mean, it's their high block setup with high pressing principles and actions. What's key is that midfield of Celtics, Makwali, Mukhale, and Lipiane, all they want to be aggressive. They want to encourage the long ball from the opposition so that they can spend less time out of ball position. So, but Tuli, what do you think of today's game?
Njengoba ke ubona ke unompempe ke osiphathele ke umdlalo ke namhlanje Lindiwe Qhamane intokazi ke ephuma ke eKZN eThekwini endaweni ke ebizwa ke ngokuthi ke ilaphana ke kwaSanti eceleni kancane nje kwase Pinetown ke usizwa ke uyena la assistant Tsokela njengegama lakhe uyena ke osizayo bese kuthi ke unokubonga Dlamini uyena ke laphana ke umsizi ke wesibili kanti ke mawubheka iqembu elivakashile namhlanje uyabona ke inguquko zikhona zintathu namhlanje ke uSonti uTsotetsi uyawuqala umdlalo uMokhale naye futhi uyawuqala umdlalo bese kuthi ke bonke akade bedlala ke emidlalweni ema-Indies babuyile.
I think if ubheka ile 4-5-1 aba set up ngayo, it's a mid block setup. The reason they want to set up mid block, they are compelled to use counter attack. They want to reduce the function and the dangerous channels that Celtics always create. So he can plan. It's about the strategy through the threats. For Golden Ladies, it's about sitting, coming out using a counter attack today.
And in contrast to last week's location, we do find ourselves in Kimberley this weekend, which goes to show that women's football is spread all across the country, and the talent is spread all across the country, from Bloemfontein to Kimberley. And just like the mining companies around the corner here, both these teams will be looking for their diamonds in the rough. But who will be the diamond for Bloemfontein Celtic? Motha Kuana, of course, 6 goals to her name. Nicole Michael, another mainstay in this team. And Rapatsa, of course, the number 7, coming in for Ramatwe alongside Motha Kuana. So it'll be interesting to see how those two work together up front for Bloemfontein Celtic. Coach Tato Araba said in his pre-match interview, I beg your pardon, that it is a sort of a home derby for him. I mean, he's someone originating and coming from the Northwest Province, so he would like to get one over Golden Ladies here this afternoon. In this early kickoff of the HWBSL Super League, we're just a couple of seconds away from kickoff. Just a couple of final checks. Of course, Chabaku making her way to her goal line, wearing the number 16, a change in the goalkeeping position, and it'll be interesting to see if she can carry on that form that Moletsane has given to her. But of course, Tato Araba just making his final greetings to the opposition and to the fans as well. Seemed rather confident during the pre-match interview, but it seems like we are indeed ready to go. Just waiting for that green light from referee Lindiwe Qhamane. And there we go, of course, Golden Ladies kicking us off from left to right. Long ball straight away, and a header there from Ntamane, top goal scorer for the Golden Ladies. Trying to thread the ball through there, did Skalkwyk. But Golden Ladies still trying to string some passes together and eventually give it away to Bloem Celtic, who decide to calm it down, and it's a very good tactic from them. Of course, a team that isn't afraid to go long or to go short, the possession-based side, but yet also a very much counter-attacking side, as my colleague mentioned before.
Ryan Vusiwe spoke about the important part of the game. The field is very dry, and you obviously, when the field is dry, it affects the speed of play, because the team, you want the ball to be fluid, to move around, but I can see the pitch is a bit dry. Hopefully the teams will adapt as quick as possible to how the field is, because the speed of play also, it involves how the surface and how smooth the surface is and how much the surface is.
Of course, a couple of changes, not only in personnel, but in the formations as well. Bloemfontein Celtic last week adopted that 4-4-2 formation. This time, Coach Arabe opting for the 3-5-2. And he said in his pre-match interview that he wanted less defenders and more attacking options up front. But as you can see, they broke it through. Makali, Bloem Celtic just might be in here. It's fallen to the edge of the penalty area. Shot goes in. And it's a save from Khono Kala. Very good start from Bloemfontein Celtic. Rapid from beginning to the end, from one side of the pitch to the other. And it's the change in midfield, the Makuali, the number 27.
Makuali breaks down on the left-hand side, and she's using a technical skill to get behind the players, but a very good cross. I believe that Rapata should have terminated that one. I mean, there's no excuse. She had the whole view of the goal. I think she needed to pick up a spot.
Bloemfontein Celtic once more getting a feel of that ball. Early doors here in this encounter, but it's broken for Golden Ladies. And punt forward, finding Ntamane, of course. Wearing that number 10 on her back. She's a little bit isolated up front, but she managed to squeeze a pass away, and a shot goes in. And it's rocketed, roofed over the crossbar there. And it must be said, Golden Ladies, you can't really discount them too much. They do possess a threat, especially up front.
If you watch the Wednesday game, they scored early. They just let go in the critical phase of the first half. But one thing the coach spoke about, it's a team in transition. It's going to take a bit of time. They've lost some quality players. Last season they finished 13th, but now this season he's not even worried about the relegation. So it's a team in transition. It's going to take a bit of some time, but also with the FIFA break coming, I think it's going to help the team.
Khama, of course, and hoofed forward by Tsetse. Bloemfontein Celtic still with the ball there. Rapatsa, of course, the one coming in for Ramatwe. And playing alongside the top goal scorer, Mohlokwana, this afternoon. But we mentioned the tactical change from Bloemfontein Celtic, but Golden Ladies also adopting a 4-2-3-1, trying to form some diamonds in the midfield. And the coach from Golden Ladies, and it's eventually scratched away there from Golden Ladies, of course, but Coach Nzengu obviously mentioned that it's important to pile in the bodies in the midfield, and he made that change because in their previous game he suggested that there weren't enough numbers in the midfield, which is why they've opted for that 4-5-1 formation.
Today, if you look at their two double pivot in the midfield, which is Sotetsi, Nomuremezi, you will try to protect that defense. You want to play the two midfielders to babysit the two center backs. So she say overpopulating the midfield, it also reduces any function or space available for Celtic to utilize.
Golden Ladies will be certainly hoping to disrupt some of that free ball and loose ball in the midfield, but a free kick opportunity for Lefoyane, who decided to have a crack at goal. Finding the touchline, Bloemfontein Celtic, of course, playing against my Indies last weekend and JVW in the week. A rather contrast of results. The coach was disappointed, Coach Arabe, with that disappointing draw against Mainis. Countless opportunities, especially for the likes of Nicole Michael. So the number 22 will definitely be hoping that she can convert those opportunities into goals this afternoon.
The creativity, it's coming all right, Ray, but what is the issue is putting the ball in the net. I mean, what's important also, it's how you set up. I mean, I spoke about the strategy, the game plan is about strategy through the threads, and teams have been doing so when it comes to that. The challenge has been putting the ball into the net.
Nicole Michael winning a throw in there for her side. Medamensi in the number 4 there for Golden Ladies, and it's pushed forward. Golden Ladies losing out once again, gifting the ball straight back to Bloemfontein Celtic. Makuale profiting off some of the loose passes from Golden Ladies here in the early exchanges of this encounter, and it's definitely Bloemfontein Celtic who are looking after that ball just a little bit better, but it's won back by Medamense. Eventually threaded through, but Bloemfontein Celtic recover very well. A change at the back. I mentioned they played before at the back last weekend and now adopting that 3-5-2 formation, so definitely an adjustment for these defenders.
It's adjustment using the new formation, but also the 3 center backs that are playing at the back, Nkuna, Mukwena and Mukota, they played there before, but obviously in a different setup, in a different principles. But today, they're strictly playing 3 at the back, which is Mukota and Mukwena occupying the side as the left and right center backs, but Nkuna will be sitting to do the libero or the sweeping just behind the 2.
Golden Ladies once again gifting it away. Nicole Michael is through, a heavy touch, but she shifts it onto that right foot of hers. Just couldn't make up her mind. And I mentioned that she wanted to shift it on the right foot, maybe just shifting it back on the left and going across goal.
If you watch the last week's game, she will get behind the opposition very well. This is what matters, the final ball. Critical in those areas, she needs to take a better decision making. Final ball is important. She can get behind the opposition very well, but final ball is key.
Bloemfontein Celtic almost piercing the gap there, but Golden Ladies holding firm here. And the number 15, Hama, losing out once again. Michael trying to find a partner in crime. Mothakwana, can she get it through? Keeper makes a very good save, Khonokwala. And Mothakwana, early sight on goal, just losing out there. Very good recovery defense from Mputi there.
Give credit to the goalkeeper coming out at the right time. That's a vertical ball progression. Dispossessing Mothakwana with intelligent timing. I mean, that's a good play from the goalkeeper.
Once again, another throw in 1 year. Mukhale now in from Michael and threaded through from Mukhale. Little nutmeg there. Finding Makuwale yet again has a shot blocked from Golden Ladies. The shot goes in once again. Golden Ladies frantic at the back here in the early stages.
The coach of Celtic, Sutato, spoke about how aggressively they want to start. They want to get as many goals as they can. But the issue, Celtics, they need to be patient sometimes, because if the channel is not open, you can't force it.
Bloemfontein Celtic might just break through here. It's fallen to the edge of the penalty area. She has a crack. Deflection. Getting her body in the way there. Golden Ladies. Tiresome defense, but holding firm nonetheless, putting their bodies on the line. And once again, as we can see there, shot from Mokhale, the CDM, hitting the head of Mputi, the centre back. And maybe hitting straight for the back of the net. So Mputi doing very well to get her head in the way. Coach there, Nzenku, very unhappy with something, but it seems as if one of the Golden Ladies have fallen to the ground.
Ray, critical phase of the game, you don't want to concede. I love how, let's look at she was hit. Oh, she was caught by the ball in that situation. But you must highlight the fact that Golden Ladies, I was talking about how quickly they shift to a low block. Obviously, you understand there are issues. Zeta was hit by the ball in that situation. That's why you see on the ground. But how quickly they shift to a low block, we understand, because they've been struggling defensively in terms of their discipline. So they're using 2 banks of 4 with the first and the second defensive line. So you understand why they're shifting to low block, especially out of position or out of ball position.
And what we've seen from Bloemfontein Celtic so far is that they've been keeping the ball in the midfield, playing it around with the centre-backs Nkuna, Mokwena and Mokhale, and just waiting for Nicole Michael to peel off the back of her defender and finding her with a lovely through ball there. But it's just up to Nicole Michael to find that finishing touch.
It's about expanding that goal threat spread. They want to expand the goal first spread left, right, through the center. But again, against a low block like that, you need to be able to, the players to be able to stretch the block, because if you want to stretch the block, you cannot open the channels.
And a little dummy there from Rapatsa in an attempt to disguise an attack from the Golden Ladies defenders, but it's one back once again from Makwali. She's been winning the ball back on frequent occasion, and the shot goes in, and it's rather fiddled out and regathered, of course, by Khonokala, who hoofs it upfield. And then, of course, Bloemfontein Celtic losing out to Golden Ladies, and they might just be through here. But if the cross goes in, the header rather weak, and finding the hands of Chabaku, she'll be relieved that she wasn't exactly tested, but the flag does indeed go up.
This is what I spoke about with Celtics. As much as you want aggressive or high press Golden Ladies, but it's also important to be cautious. You must have that trigger in the midfield. So if you lose ball position, you must be able to have someone who's going to delay the attack. A very good cross from Skalbeck. Ntimane didn't connect very well with that header.
Asibonke ke ekakhulu ke Ray ke njengoba ke sikhona ke la phakathi kwazo ke imayini ke zase Kimberley, umdlalo othembisayo ukuthi ke uzoba mnandi njengoba ke sibona ke uMohlakwana bembamba onophephe uyasibona leso simo. free kick abayinikeza iBloemfontein iCeltic ngaphandle nje kancane kwebhokisi yabona ke umhlakwane awumdlali ke ngempela ke oyingozi kakhulu kule qembu leCeltic sikhuluma nje unamagoli ke ayisithupha kuyona ke le season ke asazi ke ukuthi ke namhlanje uzokwazi ukuthi ke engeze leso sibalo ke esawo ke lawo magoli ke asibone nje le free kick ukuthi ke bazokwenza njani ke abayo ke la iCeltic yabona ke emapalini okhona ke uLerato Gaunakala lapha epalini ke layo ke iGolden Ladies ufuna ukuyithatha yena uMohlakwana isendaweni enhle kakhulu le free kick uyayishaya awuthi goalkeeper oyibamba ke kahle kakhulu ke yena laphana ke uMohlakwana yabona ke lamaqembu namhlanje njengoba ke ehlangana Celtic iza ke kulomdlalo ihambela phezulu okabi ke ngemuva kokuthi bethole ke u3 points ku HWBSL nalithuba layo ke iGolden Ladies kodwa ke iliphuma ke eceleni ke kwebhali akhona ke uDr Mlandi eduze kwami ziyathengana sithi sabona ithuba ngapha siphinde silibone futhi ngapha
mangayibheka kahle sekuyithuba lesi2 in the space of 4 minutes tuli isho ukuthi Celtics as much as ba-attack nge-aggression but fanele babheke because kubalulekile ukuthi uma yi-team i-setup yakho uma uku-attack ikuprotect mara uma ungabheka lama-chances we-Golden Ladies iyakutshela ukuthi bazoyuza ama-cross kakhulu untimane will be dangerous kulawo ma-cross abazowafaka ebhokisini
Celtic iza ke kulomdlalo ke ngemuva kokuthola ke u3 points egoli ke kandonga ziyaduma ke bedla ke iqembu lasekhaya HWBSL ehlezi ke ku number 3 kwilog ke njengoba ke sikhuluma kanti ke badlala neqembu elingayazi wini kule season eGolden Ladies bakudla kwenduku noma bani ofuna u3 points ayafika nje awuthathe ke kuyona ke iGolden Ladies njengoba ke ihlezi ke emsileni inamaphuzu nje amabili kuphela laphana ke ezansi foul embi yona ke iGolden Ladies kodwa ke akadlalanga ke kahle ke lapha Janet Omokoda 28 years i-free kick njengoba ke bedlalisa kabi ke Selina Skalveki entombazane ke ebuya ngale ke Klextop la khona ke Northwest oyasukuma ufuna ukuyithatha yena yabona lo goalkeeper umbona lapha esithombeni namhlanje udlala ke umdlalo wakhe wesibili umthwalo usemahlombe ugoalkeeper first choice oku-national team asibone ke lethuba defense ye-Celtic yenza ke umsebenzi omuhle ingakasuki ingozi oyavimba laphana ke uKensani Nkuna emuva namhlanje ngifuna ukuthi sikhulume ngalo goalkeeper Dr Mnandi sambona lapha eBloemfontein ngesikhathi elimele ugoalkeeper ke weCeltic uMoletsane bamnikeza ukuthi ke akangene wadlala lapha wadedela amagoli amabili ihamba phambili iCeltic ngo2-0 yabuya ifirst touch yashaya 2 goals wawadedela namhlanje futhi umsebenzi unikeziwe ukuthi akasebenze ngoba ke ugoalkeeper olapha ecampini ku-national team asibona angeke avume lapha uKhamane free kick eyaphuma iyellow card yokuqala yomdlalo eyaphuma iyellow card yokuqala yomdlalo iCeltic itholile free kick endaweni ethayifane nayima indi lapha iGolden Ladies naye ithola free kick endaweni efanayo
mawukhumbula from last week iCeltics mayidlala amathuba amaningi abawathole from ama-free kick uMhlakwana uyi-specialist obathathela ama-free kick I think bangafakanga iy'cathulo zakhe asebenza ngazo thuli ngiyathemba ukuthi namhlanje uzifakile ezokwazi ukuthi mawavela lama-standard situation awaterminate awahlafune
asibone ke le free kick ukhona ke uSkalveki phezu kwalo ke leli bhola oyena ke ozolithatha kodwa ke iphuma ke kude kakhulu ke namapali leya free kick ke iyayo ke iGolden Ladies yabona ke mawuthi ke uyaqhathanisa lamaqembu ke omabili ukuthi isimo nje sawo ke lapha kwilog isimi kanjani njengoba ke iCeltic ihlezi ku number 5 Golden Ladies ihleli ke number 16 namhlanje badlala umdlalo oka11 iCeltic inamawina amahlanu ama-draw amane 4 bese ke bashawa kanye lo mdlalo bashawa ke iSundowns ngo2-0 bana19 points mobheka iqembu layo ke iGolden Ladies lidonsa ngodizili lidonsa kanzima 10 games bashawa 8 banama draw amabili kuphela kanti ke namagoli iGolden Ladies iyawadedela bayavuza emuva 37 amagoli asebawadedelile in 10 games kanti ke futhi ke abashayi abasashaye nje 6 nangu ke la uNicole Michael odlala kahle kakhulu uyabona ke moqhathanisa ukuthi lamaqembu igap inkulu kangakanani ngoba iGolden Ladies iyadedela emuva namagoli futhi anzima awezi kalula asibone ke la ithuba layo ke iCeltic kodwa ke eliphuma ke eceleni ke kwepali ekhona kick uyabona ke uMolepo orabatha oyena ke lo odlala ke lapha phambili ke babambisene ke noMohlakwana ama twin strikers njengoba ke bethola ke ikhona Mohlakwana ke uyena ke oyithathayo ke le khona Nompempe ke kukhona ke abonayo ke lapha ushintsha ke ibhola ke kusho ukuthi agcwele kahle le bhola njengoba ke ebelishintsha ke asibone ke ele khona efuna amakhanda lapha aliyabaceza kodwa ke ayikasuka ingozi libuya ke manje ke ibhola noLorraine Makhwali lephumela ke ngaphandle ke ngaphesheya kwenkundla Kensani Nkuna washaya enhle ifree kick ngesikhathi ke bedlala idraw ka2-2 nayo ke ifirst touch icenter back uyabona ke Golden Ladies iqembu lakhe lidala wawubedlala ke kulona ke leli qembu ke yena ke uKensani Nkuna cross eboxini ifuna Nicole Michael alifika ibhola kuMichael Mukhale ngaphesheya kwenkundla lide ibhola kodwa liphuma ke kude namapali
Thuli bokhuluma into important. I mean iGolden Ladies bengikhuluma nomqeqeshi ukhuluma indaba zokuthi ibhande sibiza ukuthi iconveyor belt ibhande lokproducer abadlali libalethe down kakhulu because yes bayenzile identification bafundile ama player kwamanye ama team angaphansi and seba identifyile kusazothatha isikhathi but le FIFA break izobasiza kakhulu ukuthi bakhona ukuhlanganisa indlela abafuna ukudlala ngayo bakole futhi nama principles ukuthi team ifuna ukudlala kanjani but usakhuluma ngo goalkeeper uChabaku i-goalkeeping ishintshile manje ibhola selikwenye izinga manje goalkeeper fanele ajwayele ukudlala and he position that awudlali njalo so uChabaku ungena nje igame yakhe yesibili le mawungayibheka kahle le game yesibili sifanele still adapt to ama defenders wakhe adapt ukuthi team idlala kanjani adapt to any challenges ama team azoba impose so goalkeeping is a very different position kwamanye ama position
Golden Ladies iza ke kulomdlalo ayikaze ishaye iyona ke iCeltic yabona ke mawubheka ke ngesizini edlule Celtic ithathe 6 points wonke njengoba ke sibabona bahlasela ke namanje goalkeeper ke uyalibamba ibhola umdlalo ke woqala esiwelele park iCeltic yawina ngo 3-2 baphinda ke baseke bevakasha ke laphana ke eNorthwest baphinda babuya ke nomunye ke u3 points bewina ke ngo2-1 sibone la uMohlakwana uyedwa uphumile no goalkeeper ephalini bambonile kodwa ke alangashayeka ke kahle leli yabhola ke lakhe uMohlakwana
bekathi uyaphanda lapho uMohlakwana ushaya idayisi because ubone ngathi ugoalkeeper usukile emqeni wakhe lineini yakhe so that's why bekathi uyamjumpisa lapha in that situation but ugoalkeeper ngithandile indlela ishintshe ngayo decision makabona ukuthi angeke ngifike eqala ebholweni
Nicole Michael bambeka phansi unamagoli amabili ke kule season ke Michael kodwa ke manje silapha kumsuzu ka20 not Celtic and not Golden Ladies.
And it's been a game that has ebbed and flowed. Both chances have fallen to Golden Ladies and Bloemfontein Celtic. But it's maybe the Bloemfontein Celtic side that have had the better of chances. Just a recap of that yellow card, and it's fallen to the number 15, the defensive midfielder, Mukhale, just guilty of tripping Ntamane. And a free kick was given to Golden Ladies, but nonetheless, chances for both teams as Napata puts it through for Michael. Michael puts the afterburners on. She's isolated a defender, shifts it onto that right foot. Michael trying to look for a pass and gone to the ground there. Referee eventually giving a foul in favor of Golden Ladies, and they can thank their lucky stars that Nicole Michael just couldn't get a shot away there.
She gets behind the defense very well. 1v1, she can deal with 1v1 very well. But the issue, Ray, has always been the final ball, because you can eliminate, but what's key is the decision making, especially whether to make a pass or to still take another player on. So I think the coach Tato needs to work so much on Nicole's final product. Final product, remember, it will reflect whether you get a goal or not. So I think Michael needs to work on the final ball.
Totsetsi, of course, the one that is down. Just a little injury problem there. Coach Haraba, just in dialogue with some of his troops as well as Coach Nzengu. It's an interesting encounter so far in the opening 20 minutes. It's definitely one that maybe Bloemfontein Celtic weren't quite expecting from this Golden Ladies team.
Surprise start from Golden Ladies. You can see that psychologically they've started well, but this is what the coach has been talking about, the consistency throughout the match, especially psychological intensity is important. So I think his team, he spoke about the mental attitude, which the players know that it's important. Game of football now is not just about the ability itself, but it's also about the psychological aspect.
And Putinel on that left-hand side of the screen with a free kick almost from her own 18-yard area. She'll be looking to find the likes of Tau and Khama in the wing areas, but she goes downfield and it's won back by the midfielder Makwali. She's won back the ball so many times in this game so far, and she's distributed really well and find the likes of Nicole Michael on regular occasion. Lovely little skill there. Bloemfontein Celtic just might be through here. Attempted ball threaded through there from Mokoena, the captain, just not quite coming off for Bloemfontein Celtic. And it's eventually cleared by Honokala. And winning the second ball of Golden Ladies there, especially close to that 18-yard area of Bloemfontein Celtic, maybe a tactic and a ploy that they should adopt more often. And it's gone all the way back to substitute goalkeeper Jabaka. Puts it on her right foot, just shifted away from one of the attackers there. And Golden Ladies really putting on the press now and really choosing when to press. And pressing deep when Bloemfontein Celtics have the ball in their own half.
You can see the chemistry centre backs, the relationship between the three centre backs is still not yet at the level that one expected to be. I mean, the coach has spoken about how they just started. Skalbeek she went in the challenge with Unkuna, but I was just talking about, look at that challenge, aggressive from Unkuna, but nothing harmful in that situation. It was just a challenge. But the centre backs, you can see the struggle. Obviously, a new goalkeeper based on she hasn't played so many games. So that chemistry is slowly getting there, but it's not yet at the level that is required.
Unkuna hard tackle on the number 6, Skalkvek. Skalkvek, of course, playing in that attacking midfield position just in behind Ntamane. So she's maybe dealt with the responsibility of winning that second ball and maybe threading the eye of the needle pass through to that number 10 Ntamane, but only time will tell if Golden Ladies can break that deadlock. As I mentioned before, it's a team that has gone winless throughout the season, at 80% winless percentage, and it's definitely one that the side from Mahikeng will hope to transform come that full-time whistle. But Bloemfontein Celtic now with a drop ball, and it's a punt forward, Motlakwana. Bloemfontein Celtic eventually threaded through, just a chance here through the legs. Rapatsa trying to keep it in play, but eventually well dealt with by Honokala. Bloemfontein Celtic doing very well to find those little intricate passes in and around the 18-yard area.
Celtics, it's an attack threat. I mean, but one needs to give credit to Honolaka, the goalkeeper. It's the second attempt. She comes out and a very good timing. You can see she knows what she's doing. When she comes out, she makes sure she claims. And this is what the goalkeepers need to master. When you come out, you need to be able to claim.
Nicole Michael switching flanks and getting it forward to Motlakwana. Maybe a ploy for them to combine with each other just that little bit more, Michael and Motlakwana, so they're both on the same flank now. And Mohale puts it through for Michael. She stays on her feet and told to get up by a referee, Chamane. as Golden Ladies lose out once again, a side that really struggles to play out from the back. So Celtic really putting on the press when in Golden Ladies half. Makwali now with some time and space on the ball. She got it on her right foot, gets it out wide to Michael, puts in the cross, and not quite of a pinpoint cross there, looking for the likes of Mothokwana and Rapata. But Bloemfontein Celtic, as the coach mentioned before the game, it's a very good team up until that final moment when that killer instinct is needed.
It depends. Football, Ray, it's either you give an instruction or it's intuition. Intuition is when a coach gives the players the patterns and the direction on how he wants the team to attack. But instruction is very simple. It's when the players are able to use their innate talent in the final third. But I'm very, very impressed by how the Golden Ladies has started. I mean, if you look at how solid they are defensively, it allows them to attack with a counter attack. They say the solid defense is the platform for the attacking success.
And of course, lastly, thanks to their brave display against JVW last time out, Bloemfontein Celtic currently occupy 5th position, just a point behind JVW and Maindies, and only a mere 4 points behind 2nd place UWC. So still so much to play for Bloem Celtic. As I mentioned, they can creep into that top 3 position. And they were operating in 4th place after their victory on Wednesday, but yesterday's results did mean that they have now creeped back down to 5th place. But all that can change with a moment of brilliance. And Nicole Michael, as well as Mothokwana, will be hoping that they can be the providers. Bloemfontein Celtic, a glimmer of a chance and snuffed out by Golden Ladies. Very good recovery, defense by Mputi there.
It's about the mutual cover, how quickly they cover each other. If one slips up, the one is there to cover. So you can see that their defensive block, it's working wonders, because numerical superiority, that's what it offers them. But what's important, don't allow anything to drop behind your defense, because sometimes they're going to get caught. Game is like that. It's that moment of concentration, it comes once and the team gets punished.
Just the reiteration of yesterday's results. Both Maindies and Thunderbirds came away with win in their respective clashes 24 hours ago, but the ball is now in Celtic's court and they can break into those top 3 positions. But I mentioned Mohale, the number 15, the midfielder for Bloemfontein Celtic, with an early yellow card, so she still has so much time to play with the yellow card, and it's a risky game to play, especially in the midfield, and maybe let you think twice before you make that 50-50 tackle.
For all the tackles, she's going to be now cautious to make sure that she doesn't give a yellow card away, or especially the fouls around the box. Sometimes it works on the player's mind, but very intelligent players, when they get into those situations, they know how to exert themselves.
Golden Ladies with a chance here, but running out of room there, did Skulk fake. And Bloemfontein Celtic doing very well, not only when they attack, but they get into shape when they lose that ball very quickly. And it's put forward once again. Golden Ladies going for that long ball strategy, the Route 1 football, and it might just pay off. Just losing touch there, loose touch by the leading goal scorer, Tamane there. And Chabaku clears it for Bloem Celtic, trying to find Mothokwana from the goal kick. And gaining territory so effortlessly for Bloem Celtic. Very good start to her coming into this Bloem Celtic winning side, and as the ball put in and almost sneaked into the goal there. I'm not too sure Hanukala knew exactly what was going on, but very good attempt there by Mothokwana.
Again, if you look at it, it's a cross from Mothokwana, but give credit to the goalkeeper. I mean, how she covered, she tried, obviously didn't touch the ball, but she tried to cover the ball. That cross, I think Mothokwana was trying to play a cross, but unfortunately, the cross just went over the bar.
Golden Ladies ngempela ke kuzofanele ke yenze izinto ke zenzeke, ngoba ke nangesizini edlule izinto zabo ke bezingahambi kahle. Awuzokhumbula ukuthi amaqembu ke abe u14 ngesizini edlule, bona ke baqeda beku number 13, nakhona futhi babeshawa nje kakhulu, ngoba ke 20 imidlalo abashawa kuyona, bona ke bawina nje imidlalo emhlanu ke kuphela ke baba ke ene draw eyodwa. Eyona ke iGolden Ladies futhi ke kwakuyilona qembu ngempela ke elalidedela amagoli, ngoba ke asibone ke la uMohla khona ongena ke eboxini kodwa cha goalkeeper ke uyavimba elona qembu elalidedela ke amagoli ngoba ke badedela amagoli awu65 wonke ke ngesizini ke edlule kanti ke iqembu elaba ke number 1 ngokudedela amagoli ileli ke elali lapha ke emsileni iTsunami eyadedela 87 wonke ke wamagoli lo 87 Sundowns iyawashaya amagoli awu87 njengoba ke iyagcina ke inkompetha abayo ke iHWBSL Super League oyazama ke lapha ke eswini oSonti awutsothethi kodwa ke izinto ke azivumi kahle eqenjini ke layo ke Golden Ladies. Priscilla Pesa bamdlala kabi ke lapha oLorraine Makhwali iyaphuma iyellow card yesibili awutsethe uyena ke abambhalayo
mangayibheka kahle utsetse la uboni ukuthi ungishile la uMukhwali so she had to bekafanele ayenze la foul mangayibheka kahle because uMukhwali bese kabhekana nepali la yes kunezinye inamba phambi kwakhe mara mawuyithola lapha ku Central Julie uzoshaya isigubhu sodwa so uyibonile utsetse ukuthi hayi thingibangene la tackle lawa igame ayikho bathina akuhlafunwana kakhulu Julie namhlanje but kuyabonakala ukuthi balifuna nje both teams iwin bayifuna namhlanje indlela abazexecta ngayo.
Free kick bayinikeza ke iyona ke iCeltic uyabona ke la uLorraine Makhwali omunye ke umdlali ke omqoka kakhulu ke kule qembu njengoba ke awubona ke nabo ke bebalahla phansi oMichael abadlali abayingozi ekulona iqembu ke leCeltic yabona ke la uNtimane ibest player yeqembu leGolden Ladies 20 years nje kuphela unamagoli ke amane kuyona ke le season yena ke lapha ke uShanteli uNtimane usuka lapha eBeckersford. Free kick oyayibamba nje ngokukhulu ke ukuzethemba goalkeeper ke weqembu ke layo ke iGolden Ladies oLerato Juano Kala Kenzani Nkuna bafuna ke lapha ke ngakwesokudla onompempe akavumi njengoba ke ethi ke alibekwe phansi ke ibhola kube ke i-free kick enikezwa ke iqembu ke layo ke iCeltic.
Engifuna ukusho Thula ukuthi sometimes kubalulekile ukuthi ungayideleli team because yes iCeltics bazile babheka iposition yeGolden Ladies ukuthi singawathola amaningi mara you can see ukuthi umdlalo lo uqale ngakhona iGolden Ladies iyabamangaza iyabathusa and that is why manje kunesitadinyane esincane ukuthi sizoba kora kanjani. Yes iGolden Ladies needs to keep kufanele nje bakhiphe ifocus yabo ukwenza so ukuthi abaconcede kule first half izoba nika ukuzithemba neconfidence enkulu.
Lorraine Makhwali umdlali ke osuka lapha ke eSibukeng awakwadlalela ke iqembu ke layo ke iFirst Touch yabona ke maningi ke amafoul kulomdlalo uLorraine kodwa uyena othola ama-knocks kakhulu ke kulona iqembu leCeltic ngoba uyena vele wenza izinto zenzeke leli yaqembu
umsebenzi mkhulu kakhulu embizeni lapha Thuli kuyaphekwa kuyadidiyelwa but mawubheka ama-fouls akomitiwe iGolden Ladies it's 6-4 so kuyasho ukuthi iGolden Ladies yengathi aggressive nyana because bayenza sure iCeltics yewafikela kakhulu that is why bona bayenza ama-fouls amaningi bawafika kakhulu.
Yabona ke le mdlalo ke esiphethe ke namhlanje njengoba ke imibili ke imidlalo ke esiphethe ke namhlanje ezolo ke lapha ke eminye ke imphumela ema-Indies iqembu futhi ke eliqoqayo ngempela imphumela kamaphuzu ke ngempela bayawathola bashaye ke iDurban Ladies ngo-1-0 beyishaya ke belapha ke ekhaya kanti ke iThunderbirds babhadise ke iVasco da Gama iqembu eselize laxosha ngisho umqeqeshi ngoba ke izinto ke azihambi kahle othini lapha onompempe Qhamane awaye umdlali webhola ke naye ke la uNompempe Lindiwe Qhamane edlalela ke iqembu lapha eThekwini ekuthiwa ke eMarian Hill Vultures idlala ke kuSasoli njengoba ke Shaya Impempe osuka ke kude ke nebhola laphana ke uNompempe Lindiwe
into engithanda ngomqeqeshi wayishayela le moto you can see ukuthi yes akanayo i-height mari presence yakhe ngokukhuluma wathusa abadlali because sometimes mawunganayo le height uNompempe kuyofuneka ukuthi abadlali bathuze nangokukhuluma ubonise ukuthi uyayishayela le moto lengolovana
awuphethe kahle kakhulu ke umdlalo kanti omunye umdlalo ke wogcina ke osukwini la izolo ke iUJ edliwe ke iTUT ngo-1-0 iyona ke imidlalo ke ebesinayo ke izolo ke ngaphansi ke kwayo ke iHWBSL Super League kanti uzokhumbula ukuthi amanye ke amaqembu awadlali ngale mpelasonto ngoba abadlali ke bawo ke abaningi ke balapha ecampini iyayo ke ibanyana njengoba ke ilungiselela yona ke imidlalo ye-Women's Cup of Nations ezobanjwa ke ngenyanga ezayo laphana ke eMorocco ingakho ke iSundowns engadlalanga ingakho futhi ingadlalanga iJVW kanjalo ke nayo ke iUWC awuhlezi phansi ke la Julia Lefiane 29 years amdlali ke wakwagijima ke kuyona ke iCentral University of Technology ladies eBloemfontein ozalwa ke laphana ke eBuchabelo khona ke eFree State oneminyaka ke eyu29 njengoba ke ebephuma ke naye ngaphandle asitheme nje ukuthi azobuya ke aqhubeke ke nawo ke laphana ke umdlalo udlale kahle ngesikhathi bedlala ke nayo ke iJVW beyidla ke ngo-1-0 igoli akube ke ipenalty eshawa ke uyena ke ugoalkeeper free kick Nkuna yihle free kick yabona uNkuna nangesikhathi bedlala ke lapha eBloemfontein washaya ehle free kick uyabona i-specialist sama free kick uNkuna nale uyayibona ukuthi kade ifuna ukwenzani
indawo yakhe I think kubalekile ukuthi siyikhulume thula ukuthi uNkuna ipower uya for ipower kulama situation angathanda distance nyana kakhulu babiza yena uNkuna bathi hayi no gibela isikephe Nkuna utubule because mangabheka la shaya khona is the same i-area ayishaya khona lethamba idlala eBloemfontein
Celtic bafuna manje lapha Rapata ngakwesokudla khona uNicole Michael zama ukugoba Michael ebhola ke liphumela ke ngaphandle Nompempe uthi ayibekwe phansi kubeke i-free kick
ngithanda indlela uNicole abapay attention kuye kakhona ubheke sibi kunalento esibiza ukuthi double marking uNicole makalibamba kunomuntu onecover ukuthi makadlula lo munye khona amshanga egurash and it's a mutual cover bacover na kahle bayenza sho ukuthi aba eliminatiwa in terms of the numbers lo block yabo since 39 minutes yegame iqalile uthuli ibasize kakhulu
yellow card yesithathu ke eyomdlalo ekusayisombe nje esokuqala njengoba ke ebembhala manje ke Dimakatso yena ke uMokhale intombazane ke ezana lapha eRandfontein asibone ke le free kick Mohlakwana aphezu kwebhola uyayishaya ikhanda kodwa ke uNicole Michael yabona uMichael ushintsha inhlangothi kodwa bheka manje ukuthi iheader yakhe powerful kangakanani njengoba ke ecishe kulibeka phakathi
ukushintsha iposition thuli kwenzela ukuthi kungabi predictable kungabi ukuthi sesiyamazi ukuthi kule side la ngapha kule hlangothi la ngapha ungena kanjani so ushintsha unpredictability it's important also yena noPesa bashintsha ama position ukureduce i-predictability
Michael futhi ungale manje ngakwesokudla umdlalo uqale engala ke ngakwesonxele kodwa ke vele udlala ke kanjalo ke yena ke uMichael yabona ke uNkuna uyawashaya ama free kick 24 years wase Northwest yena ke uNkuna isizini edlule ubedlala ke kwiTsunami Queens njengoba ke eshiyile iCeltic yase ke imsayina umdlali osezingeni ke eliphezulu ke ngendlela eyisimanga kodwa ke sisele nje nemzuzu emhlanu manje ukuthi ke esiye ke ekhefini and not iCeltic and not a Golden Ladies.
40 minutes have come and gone, and it's definitely Golden Ladies, the side that'll be happier with the scoreline. if the halftime whistle does come and the scoreline does stay the same. So Golden Ladies doing exactly what their coach Nzengu told them to do, and that is keep it tight at the back, keep it tight defensively, and when the chance comes for you to break up field, venture upfield and perhaps score a goal of your own. But Golden Ladies haven't quite done that yet, but more importantly, they've kept that a crucial clean sheet. And for them to stay in the league and for them to avoid relegation, it's highly important that they rack up those clean sheets whenever possible. But for Bloem Celtic, definitely a chance to change the halftime team talk with the last gasp first half lead here. Golden Ladies, of course, losing out there. And it's that lady once again, Mokwale. But interestingly enough, Mokwale from both teams, one in the left-back position, the number 2 from Golden Ladies, and the number 15, the centre midfielder, both have a yellow card in rather dangerous positions in the first half. So it's rather interesting to note that. Well, a little bit humorous as well, but Bloemfontein Celtic with a long throw-in. Now a real chance for Pesa, who puts it in. Mothukwana brings it down on the edge of the penalty area, trying to get a ball through there for Michael, not quite doing so. Golden Ladies holding firm with 3 minutes to go in this first half. Rapatsa, again, Golden Ladies cutting down, cutting off those passing lanes to the likes of Nicole Michael and Mothukwana.
With Golden Ladies, you function better without ball possession, less ball possession, but helps them in terms of how they want to set up. Remember, they're using a rest defense. I mean, they'll be sitting, coming out using a counter attack. My worry is they overcompensate defensively, then it isolates Ntimane, the number 10. I mean, after winning the ball, they need to go try to give a support.
Michael puts it in, Mothukwana, the one underneath it, but a chance now for Mokwale. And eventually just taking out one of the defenders there in an attempt to get a shot away from goal. Excellent defensive work. Mokwale just arriving a little bit too late and suffering the consequences of that is the centre-back Gagane. Gagane and Puti have been really rock solid at the back for Golden Ladies. And they're now really taking their time now to restart play and take the bite out of Bloemfontein Celtic. Celtic, of course, a club enshrined in the history books of our nation, and the ladies now have firmly carried that mantle and that responsibility on their shoulders. And unsurprisingly, a team that has that Hollywood Bets trophy firmly set in their long-term future plans. But as we can see now, Golden Ladies once again doing very well to escape there. Did Tsetse. I beg your pardon, Tau there coming all the way back on this right-hand flank. And Pesa, the guilty party there, just taking her out. A little bit isolated there from Tau, but doing exceptionally well to eventually win the free kick there. So it's kept in from Pesa. Now finding that left back of course, Makota. And with less than a minute to go, Rapatsa trying to find a ball through. They just might be in here. Mothukwana is interested. She finds Michael. Can she get a shot away this time? Not quite. Golden Ladies holding firm and holding on tight to that clean sheet of theirs. But it must be said that they are really rock solid at the back, but whenever they go forward, they rather give possession away rather very easily. And Golden Ladies now in the midfield trying to just possess that ball a little bit longer and wait for that clock to tick down. As we can see there, 2 minutes being added.
I think important now for Golden Ladies is to keep that concentration level really, very high, but also in terms of making sure that they do the...
Mothukwana interested there.
I was saying, Ray, it's important for Golden Ladies to keep on doing what they've done well in the first half, keep the concentration level very high, but the counter-attack principles becomes critical, especially after regaining position. I mean, it's support play, it's a dynamic movement, and then obviously the speed of how you attack and the numbers that you help Ntimane up front. Celtics, they can only try to get the goal from the wide areas.
Mothukwana puts it in, it's a long ball in the header. Quite finding Pesa as a shot. after the whistle has gone. It's one of the centre-backs there, either Mputi or Gagane, going down to Patsi, also feeling the after effects of that one. I beg your pardon. It seems like it's the midfielder, Tutsetsi.
Yeah, it's a collision.
The one putting her body on the line there.
I think if you look at it, it's a head collision. Yes, definitely, it's a head collision. Unlucky there, it's the name of the game.
And it's definitely something that Golden Ladies aren't scared to do, and they've done frequently throughout this first half, and it's been key to their clean sheet. It's these brilliant last-ditch headers, last-ditch tackles that have kept the scoreline where it is. And I can see Coach Arabe, the coach from Bloemfontein Celtic, visibly frustrated, kicking the ground, slamming his hands, and I can see on his face that he's not quite happy with the players on the field.
The mentality before the game, he says to me that they'll want to score as many goals as they can because it's an opportunity for Celtics to score. If you look at the top four, Celtics are the lowest scorers. So he said his thinking was, or thought process is, we're going to get as many goals, especially from the first half. But now Golden Ladies have surprised them with how they've started. They just need to keep this up.
Hanokwala punts it downfield, making the lives difficult of that back three for Bloem Celtic, but eventually well dealt with from Nkuna. Golden Ladies still away, still not yet away, however. And on the far side of the field there, of course, Mputi having a little run upfield. And Golden Ladies now with potentially a long throwing set piece and maybe can sneak a 1-0 advantage. And that most certainly will catch the surprise of many here this afternoon, and it's no better time to do it than now. Golden Ladies trying to thread a ball through. Just too many numbers back from Bloemfontein Celtic. Michael just a little bit isolated there and eventually scratching it away, but Golden Ladies still with the ball and still with that throwing opportunity. It's Mokhale who puts it in for the Golden Ladies. But that is that, ladies and gentlemen. 45 minutes have flown by, and it's been a tasty and rather enthralling encounter, and rather interesting because it's an encounter that we haven't, an outcome that we haven't really expected. Bloemfontein Celtic going close, but not really testing the goalkeeper, that is Hanokwala, and Golden Ladies putting in a really good defensive performance.
They did, Ray. What's also important, it's going to the second half. Obviously, you don't want to tweak so much the technical adjustments. I think the coach started very well. Just remind the players the importance of how we started, build on that start. The concentration level becomes critical.
As we just have a look of that halftime statistics, of course, Bloemfontein Celtic having the largest share of the pie there in terms of possession, 63%, and total passes, of course, 144 to Golden Ladies, only 72. Two bookings, I beg your pardon, for Golden Ladies, and shots at goal, as you can see there, Bloemfontein Celtic, 3 of those on target, and importantly enough, those shots haven't quite tested the keeper of Golden Ladies enough, and Golden Ladies have had their fair share, but not quite finding the target enough.
But from this statistic first half, you can see from the ball position, Celtics dominated the position, but they couldn't had the Golden Ladies. But on the shaded, it's 65 to 35. It tells you the total ratio when it comes to passing. Celtics, the final ball has been there, but it hasn't been progressive for them. Crosses is 3 to 12. You can see that Golden Ladies 3 crosses that they got, it almost resulted into the goal. But it shows that every time they move from defense to attack, they are very dangerous. But from the tackles made, you can see that Golden Ladies were more aggressive when it comes to tackles.
But do join us again, ladies and gentlemen, for that second half's action between Bloem Celtic and Golden Ladies here live from De Beers Stadium in Kimberley. Do stay tuned for that one.
All right, thank you so much to our commentary team for taking us through the first 45 of this encounter. It is a 45-minute action which we've seen both teams really exerting themselves in a way that says we mean business, and that shows that both teams are really looking for the 3 points here today. Bloemfontein Celtic, some solid chances in front of goal, the likes of Nicole Michael as well as Nkuna, but are really unable to capitalize on those, and also some questionable decision making. Certainly a point that coach Tato Haraba will be discussing with his team during this halftime break. And from Golden Ladies, what a start that they've had. They've really surprised Bloemfontein Celtic, but we've seen Coach Wabo Unzeki being quite animated on the sidelines, not quite happy with that transition for them from defense into attack, feeling like they're not bringing enough numbers forward to put pressure on that Celtic defense. And we are excited to see what changes, if any, will be made in the second half as the teams get that second 45 underway to ensure that they get maximum points. It is the three ladies in studio who dissect and analyze the first 45 of this encounter. Do stay tuned.
This Saturday.
Riddle me this, riddle me that. Who's afraid of the big black bat?
Find out Saturday, 3:30.
Mapungubwe really is important for future generations, because we learn trade out of Mapungubwe, the gold and so forth. We owe everything to our ancestors.
In knowing who we are and where we come from lies a golden treasure.
They did not want anyone.
Pay attention to your totems, pay attention to your clan praises, because they say a lot about where you come from, that what you think you are. You are African before Umxhosa. You are African before Mopedi. You are African before you are all of those things.
Mapungubwe, Echoes in the Valley. Wednesday evenings at 10:30 on SABC2.
Talks prior to the game goes on quick silence when Giants execute their mandates accordingly. This is a hot contest in the 10th edition of the annual Pink ODI between Bangladesh and South Africa. The Tigers have promised their fans back home they will lift the country's flag high. Meanwhile, the Protea Fire threatens to stop the visitors. This is the summer of cricket. Be part of it. Catch the thrilling second ODI action between South Africa and Bangladesh this Sunday, the 20th of March at 9:30 a.m. live on S3. Also available on Telkom 1. The summer of cricket, brought to you by SABC Sport.
The lights come on and flash.
What they need most of all, Jenny, is some luck.
And action got underway, but look at this card. It's a very different and challenging role.
Oh, Taylor's rolled!
Series, the world's first female-only racing series.
This time it supports the global circus of Formula One.
And we go green, very good start. Price goes to the inside too. It's a historic day for Porsche as they take their first Formula E win.
After 45 minutes of play at the De Beers Stadium in Kimberley in the Northern Cape, it is goalless between Bloem Celtic ladies and Golden Ladies. And even though there aren't any goals to speak of, there have been quite a number of chances going for both of these teams. And really, they've been so tactically aware of one another. I am Xolizondo, still joined by Usimpiwe Dludluganye, no Gloria Brown. I mean, at the end of that first half, Sibonile Golden Ladies on 37% in terms of possession. But still, they've come through to the party. They haven't been the walk in the park team that we thought they would be.
Well, coach coming into this game had objectives, Xoli, and his objectives was to say, let's close down the spaces for them. Let's make sure we defend as a team, because every time they're defending, they're doubling up. I press, you cover me. If Luanang Shia, you are there to cover me. The goalkeeper has also come to the party. So everybody in that team is working together because up front, the three, Skalvik, Timan and Tau, they're making sure they're pressing the three centre backs, the Celtics, not giving them enough time to build up and gain confidence going into the midfield up to the final third. So I think for them, one goal for them on their list. So we are ticking correctly there for them. They've been compact enough. They've been denying Celtics time and space, especially in the final third.
And really, a difference for them in terms of Golden Ladies has really been the goalkeeper, Okhaunakal.
Yeah, she has been. But I think if you're looking at this team, definitely an impressive side that has shocked the opposition. They've come out with a plan. And what I'm happy to see is the belief that you're seeing in the players, the work ethic that you see in the players, and also the unity that you see in the players. Those are fundamental elements of a team that is in transition and really responding to what the coach wants out of them. Golden Ladies, the way they're playing today, many people would think we're not correct statistically to say they're number 16 on the log if you're comparing them to Bloemfontein Celtic. But that goes to proper coaching, the structure that Coach Nzeko has brought into the side, and they've absolutely been impressive. Closed down at the right moments, put the pressure on when it's mattered most, and it's really frustrated at Bloemfontein Celtic, who seem to be the team that came out hoping to get the goals. And if we're talking about first 45 minutes with a 0-0 scoreline, the team talk for Golden Ladies is absolutely impressive right now in the change room.
Absolutely. Golden Ladies have not been playing like a team that is rooted to the bottom of the log. But as early as the second minute of these first 45, it was Bloem Celtic that came out guns blazing. Urapatsa, they're trying to get the goal behind the net. But of course, Khaunakala to the rescue.
Khaunakala to the rescue because she's well positioned, and even her defenders are making sure they are pressing on the ball, because how Celtics change point of attack, Makwali came running on the left and she plays that cross in, but look at that. The defenders keep running. They're closing the space. They're narrowing the angle for her not to be able to pick a spot. And I think Celtics have gotten so many chances. All they needed to do is look up, find each other, because the goalkeeper has been the wall between the attackers and them. They need to be sharing the goalkeeper to say, if I engage with the goalkeeper, Maga Pressa, come in so that I can pass you and you tap in.
And also so impressive for her in terms of just being so aware, so focused. Isaqala nje match and already making such an important save.
When you looked at the formation they came in with, is to really pack into the midfield as well. But the coach was very realistic about the fact that he's up against a team that is really finding the goals, and knowing that he had to work on his defensive qualities. And you can see Khachane and Mputi in that defense really being solid. And impressive is Skalvik. When you need her at the back, she's been there and creating the extra numbers that they need. And the spaces between the defenders, if one makes this mistake, there's somebody there already to pick up and tidy up. So definitely, I think Golden Ladies has shocked Bloemfontein Celtic in these opening 45 minutes.
And of course, for Golden Ladies, they were also not sitting back as early as the 10th minute. Untiman is so far their highest goal scorer for the season, also with an attempt at goal. But so sad, Ngoba, this was incorrectly judged as an offside.
It was incorrectly judged as an offside because the assistant referee was late, so she was not in line with the second last defender, his centre back. And this already told you, Gutu coach had a plan where Golden Ladies to say, look at that, she's late. The assistant referee is late. She should be sprinting there. Ngamane Atige, I mean, you give favor to the attacking player. And the reason that happened also is because there's spaces badlala nga 3 movie Celtics, and in them playing with 3, you find sometimes Mukota goes forward a bit and then she leaves that space. Skalvik goes into those areas because she comes from midfield, goes into those areas to exploit the spaces there because they don't have fullbacks. It's just unfortunate that Untimane did not get to the end of that ball. We saw a couple of times where Skalvik crosses, but again, it's the wrong foot that's being used, and they are unable to get there because the set pieces they've been getting, it means low. Kunama transition akhona laphayana between them to say, as soon as she defender, how do we then push forward in terms of the transition from defense to attack?
Absolutely, but I think what has been very glaring for me in the Bloemfontein Celtic side is the imbalance on the left side and the right-hand side. Nicole Michael started on the left-hand side. She's not a left-footed player. And the minute she switched to the right-hand side, you got to see more quality crosses and also the joining of the play. But that, for me, was a bit of a letdown. You got Bloemfontein Celtic sucked in play, and you see the ball that's being crossed by Skalvik there. I think the referee really broke a good opportunity for Golden Ladies, because you could actually see also the minute that flag went up, they kind of stopped playing. But they had the numbers, because initially it was 3 against 3. And then when the flag went up, they judged themselves. But you can see the excitement in the players that they're enjoying themselves.
All right, well, the second half is about to ensue. Let's take you back to the BS Stadium. And of course, still in commentary, Tulimia Ray Kuhn, kanye naye uSphiwe Mkhonzi.
Asibonge ke kakhulu ke lapho ke ebodadewethu ke studio uxoli oGloria ke bese kuba ke uyena ke umqeqeshi oSimphiwe njengoba ke sikhona ke la eDBS Stadium ke Kimberley siyamkwamukela ke embukeli ke sombeni ke sesibili kunomdlalo ke ophakathi ke kweBloemfontein Celtic nayo ke la iGolden Ladies siyekhefini igoli ke esingalibonanga njengoba ke kuumdlalo ke wesithupha alona ke kuyona ke lempela sonto ke izolo emidlalweni emhlanu sibone ke amagoli ke awu9 sinethemba ke ukuthi ke namhlanje sizobona ke amanye amagoli ke njengoba ke esibona ushintsho ke oluzokwenziwa ke umqeqeshi la uThato oHaraba bafuna ukufaka la umukhoromotsi Ramuthwe oshintsho ke esilibonayo ke laphana ke oluzokwenziwa ke ilona ke iqembu ke layo ke iCeltic umgadli lo asazi ke ukuthi ke ubani ke abazomkhipha njengoba ke befuna ke ukufaka umgadli ke ukuthi ke azame ke ukuthola amagoli ke iqembu lakhe kuCeltic isizini yakhe yokuqala ke le oRamuthwe kodwa ke ushintsho Dr Mnandi bayalwenza olokuqala ke lwayo ke iCeltic njengoba ke esibabona ngathi ke bakhipha lapha uRapasa
ufuna umqeqeshi ngaloshintsho lwakhe ufaka uRamuthwe udonsa uRapasa ufuna ukushintsha indlela bayatheka ngayo in terms of ama dynamics uRamuthwe nomhlokwane bazodlala as two focal point reference zabo going forward, and obviously it's about ukuba aggressive nama dynamics nama patterns. So uPesa will be sitting on the right, uMikel on the left, but uRamuthwe uletha le aggression, uletha le speed phambili.
Hollywood Pets Super League ilike ephethe yonke into amagoli ke ngempela ke ayashawa kuyona ke le league amahle futhi njengoba nabadlali ke abahamba ke phambili ke balapha manje ke ko9 goals. Ngikhuluma ke ngaye ke umdlali wayo ke iSundowns uBoyitumelo Rabale kanjalo futhi noAndisiwe Mgcoyi noNthabelenge Amajiya weRichmond United ibona ke ama-top goal scorers njengamanje ana9 goals bese kuthi ke uMishe uMinisi ushaya amagoli amane emidlalweni owodwa lokho ke kwamthatha kwambeka ke ku8 goals ngesikhathi ke bedlala ke ne-first touch i-signing enhle entsha yayo ke iSundowns ebuya ke kuVasco da Gama njengoba idonsa kanzima iVasco uyashayina ngapha kuSundowns uMinisi.
Ngithanda ukuthi uJerry Shabalala ivision yakhe neplan ngeSundowns akafuna ukuba predictable. Yes, uMqoyi ushaya amagoli, uMqoyi uyadla uphezwe kulama scoring chats. uMinisi ulethe something different truly, uletha lesa speed and obviously future umuntu ongamintroduce kahle uMqoyi phela angikhulumi ngeage, but what's important is also how uMinisi umintroduce ngakhona and sekayikolile namagola 8 njengoba usho manje.
umdlali ke wesibili ke kule season ukuthi ke ashaye ke amagoli amane emidlalweni owodwa ngoba ke uzokhumbula iSundowns ngesikhathi idlala nayo iGolden Ladies ebeshawa ke ngayo u11-0 iGolden Ladies umxoyi kulo mdlalo washaya ke amagoli ke amane bese kuthi ke laphana ke uGabriela Salgado olimele ke njengoba ke engasakwazanga ukuthi ayeke laphana campaign yeqenjini ke elesizwe ona 7 goals benaye ke uNyandeni asibone ke la ukuthi ke uNtimane wenze njani njengoba ke zama ukuligoba kodwa ke ibhola lakhe lephelela ke ezandleni ke zakhe ke la uNtambose Chabako 33 years goalkeeper ke weqembu ke elayo ke iCeltic nayi futhi enye ifoul
uNkuna kufanele alungisa amaphutha unamaphutha amaningi nakusekwe nafu bekanenhlanhla bekwazake bawahlafune lamaphutha wakhe uyabona second half yaqala unamaphutha I think umqeqeshi bana ayilungise akhulume naye
nompempe ke nangu ayobheka ke umonakala kodwa ke ngibona ngathi ke ulimali ushaye nje ibhola lamshaya ke endaweni ke ngempela ke nje ebusweni lagcwala ibhola ingakho ke sibona ke ehlezi phansi umqeqeshi la uHaraba oshilo ukuthi information ayidlala namhlanje information afuna ukuthi ibatholele amagoli kodwa kuze kuzobe manje asikakaliboni igoli kodwa noshintsho uyabona ukuthi ushintsho olu offensive
iGolden Ladies ngisho kakhulu ngathi ibamangazile ngendlela abaqale ngayo so now nje kufuneka uma umqeqeshi uze namaqhinga ukuthi okay mabaqale kanje mina ngale low block yabo yokuhlala babe nama numbers defensively ku final third ngiza ne strategy bani ukuthi ngilule ngisuse le block yabo or ngihlepule kanjani le block yabo so manje kuyasho ukuthi kuzoprove intelligence yomqeqeshi nokuhlakanipha kwakhe ukuthi ngizoyidlula kanjani iGolden Ladies because badlala on the low block just ekugcineni lapha ku final third ye defense yabo so ifuna ukuthi abadlali nobacabanga kakhulu manje bayuze umcabango wamampela manje
I throw in bafuna ke Jemina Atawu endlela ke iyavalwa ke yakhe ke laphana ke Jemina Amokhale othole yellow card ngesombe ke esoqala Michael umdlalo omuhle kakhulu Michael phasi ka Michael yinhle bafuna ke oRamuthwe kodwa liyamshiya nje leli bhola ke oRamuthwe uyaxolisa ngoba ke uyazi ukuthi bekufanele ke enzeke kangcono kule bhola ke yena ke oRamuthwe emapalini laphana ke kukhona ke uLerato epalini ke layo ke iGolden Ladies kodwa ke leli bhola ke elisuswa ke uyena ke uMkhale Michael uyamanga Michael uyazinikela susu umuntu endleleni uMichael waqeda umuntu Michael support ke kodwa ke ayifiki akuyena ke oNicole Michael unamagoli amabili ke kule season ke oNicole Michael asibone la mohla khona yabona ke leyakhona bengenasidingo ugoalkeeper akakhulumanga nedefense yakhe ngabe ke abayitholi le khona beCeltic
yes ngabe basecurity lapho rawunaka goalkeeper bekufanele nje akhuluma ukuthi no elami but uyazi sometimes zenzakala lezi zinto lezi because inkulumo isuko sengafikanga ngesikhathi
amohla khona futhi bamthathela ke umohla khona oyalwa kodwa ke naye ke uMohlakhwana uyedwa laphana ke emuva amgwena kodwa ke uhlakaniphile unesipiliyoni dlala kahle no goalkeeper wakhe Kensani Nkuna yinhle phasi kaNkuna kodwa ke ayifiki ke la ithumela khona ufika ke qala ke ebholeni ke ethethe naye ke uthole ke iyellow card ngesombe ke esoqala nali-ke manje ithuba kuthiwa onside phasa ngemuva phasa ke ngemuva laphana ke uNtimane yabona ke iGolden Ladies ngempela iyayimangaza iCeltic bebengacabanga ukuthi ke bazoya ekhefini isikole ku-not njengoba ke kuyiqembu elidedela amagoli kodwa iqoqile iGolden Ladies asibone manje iCeltic ingene ebhokisini Ramuthwe kodwa ke uRamuthwe angazi noma bezama ukushaya igoli noma bezama icross.
I-decision making lapha Thuli ukuthi uthathe i-decision ku-important kuleya situation. I think mongayibheka kahle la kule situation le engela imvumela ukuthi angaya direct epalini Thuli bheka fanele unomikele eboxini unoRamuthwa abavelile abangabanika ezama option wakhe but i-decision making lapha because bheki engela imvumeli ne-connection yakhe yebhola bengamnandanga kahle.
Eyona ke la njengoba ke ethwala ke izandla ekhanda ke uRamuthwe uyazi ukuthi ke bekufanele ke enze ke kangcono diving header ana Mphuthi center back ke yayo ke iGolden Ladies bayaliphosa abanikeza Julia Lifiane 29 years yena ke Lifiane Ramuthwe Mokota bamthathela ke yena ke uMokota alizophakama iflag ena kanjani kothiwa ke usehamba yedwa laphana ke phambili ke uShanteli Ntimane kodwa ke umdlalo ingozi ayena ke uNtimane Nkuna ustrong amsimbu uyamvumela ke uNkuna Amukhale Nicole Michael ophasa kahle Michael nangu Mohlakwana boxini lapha open net uhlula nje ukuphasa inet ethuba alikho ke esilibonile kulomdlalo efana naleli awubheka iphasi kaNicole Michael wasusa umuntu endleleni abantu goalkeeper
akuna excuse Thuli good pass from uMikheli lana but uMhlokwane fanele kakore la Thuli ubhekana ne goalkeeper epali lingaka bheka indlela ashanga iconfidence yakhe mangabheka imidlalo emine ayidlalile iconfidence yakhe beyiphansi man ubona nangendlela amista ama goals afane amathuba afanele awakore she's technically umnandi yena Thuli but ku decision making kuleya final third efanele awinise iCeltics ngamathuba and namabhola awatholayo mangayibheka kahle 4 games manje ngwalandela ngiyabona ukuthi hayi kunenkinga mhlambe iconfidence low or asazi but kuyabonakala ukuthi umdlali makayenza so ngebody language kuyasho ukuthi iconfidence low
agcine ke ukushaya igoli ke ngesikhathi ke bedlala ke nayo ke iUJ yena ke uMohlakwane anamagoli ke ayisithupha ithuba ngempela inqayizivele yethuba ebekufanele ke alivalele phakathi na kanjani yena ke la uMohlakwane 29 years umgadli ke weqembu layo ke iBloemfontein Celtic athole ke elihle ithuba walibeka nje kude ke namapali nabakuthiwa ke abalisuse lapha emuva ke abayo ke iGolden Ladies Ramuthwe wabathathela ke lapha Lorraine Amakhwali futhi baningi emuva abayo ke manje ke iGolden Ladies Tawu Nkuna abaseke basijaja ukuthi ke kukhona ke i-offside kodwa ke u10 minutes wokuqala Ray uphelile esko sisathi ke not Celtic not iGolden Ladies.
Thank you very much, Thuli. Just a reiteration of the scoreline. It is still scoreless. 0-0 Celtic and Golden Ladies. Celtic still not finding that key to unlock this Golden Ladies defense. Golden Ladies very much holding firm, but Bloemfontein Celtic hoping to change that with a long shot and eventually regathered there by Khanukala. He clears it now upfield, and Golden Ladies really struggling to string those passes together. It's been a game of attack versus defense, and thus far it's the defensive side that is definitely bringing the benefits, but it's threaded through Bloemfontein Celtic. The Fiane looking for Mohlakwana, but not quite finding her. Mohlakwana, of course, guilty with such a sumptuous opportunity to take the score to 1-0. seemed as if she was going to add to her goal-scoring tally and make it 7, but she didn't quite do so. Maybe trying to just be a little bit too fancy and intricate instead of just maybe hammering it into that net. But Bloemfontein Celtic still searching for their answers. Still on the ball, biding their time. Makuali still with the ball, now has a shot. Well wide. Musukwana, of course, the player in screen, the number 11.
I think if you look at it, we spoke about Ramokwali as timing, coming out, making a decision that I'm going to go out and try to look a good interception from Kauna. She's done so well. And I said she compensated by communication with the defense, her defense. You can see that she's commanding there at the back. But again, I thought Golden Ladies have been doing so well. With a good goalkeeper doing so well, they need to support her.
These two teams have played each other 4 times in the past, all of which going in the way of Bloemfontein Celtic. And the last time these two clashed heads was in the month of October last year, and it was Celtic who overcame the Golden Ladies back then. But it's a new year, new season, and a chance to rectify the wrongs of the past. And Golden Ladies subsequently doing so, and maybe have learned their lessons throughout their games with Bloem Celtic and have kept that defense rather tight. But they're looking for Michael now, and well marshaled by Mputi, keeping a close eye on Nicole Michael. And it's been a Khanokwala kick once again. It's been a story of Bloemfontein Celtic attacks and a goal kick forwards, and hopefully Golden Ladies win the second ball as they've done here over the top now. Slightly interested there was Totsetsi, the midfielder, getting involved in the attacking phase of play. But clearly offside there, Spiwe.
It's a clear offside, Ray, but what's also important, it's how they rapidly transition the ball from defense to attack. But now also importantly, are you committing more offensively? They're not. And also the decision making, especially if they have the ball position. So those are the things that are letting them down offensively. But defensively they've been doing so well. They just need to keep the concentration level very high.
Nicole Michael there, guilty of taking out Mukhale there. Just a little bit too eager to win that ball back. Totsetsi now with a free kick hugging that left-hand touchline here on the near side of your screen, but a loose touch there from Tau. She's been rather anonymous throughout this game, just hasn't quite tasted that ball just enough, but seems as if the substitutions are getting ready there on the side. And we do expect now Bloemfontein Celtic just might be 3, but it's a heavy touch. Still a chance for Bloem Celtic. Can they get it? And yet again making that error of, as soon as they're in front of goal, just that heavy touch and that loss of focus has kept the scoreline 0-0.
The goalkeeper again, you look at how she comes out. Ramuto here needed to terminate, but the first touch let her down. But we must talk about the intelligence coming out from off goalkeeper Uranakala in terms of the timing and making that interception. He's very good on her feet, especially nowadays as a goalkeeper, Ray, it's important to be able to use your feet very well.
Of course, now the changes rung Ntuwane in for that number 27, Makuale, in the heart of the midfield. So a change of legs and a potentially change of energy and change of tactics. Formation 1, we'll have to wait and see. But Ntuwane, the one now on in the midfield for Bloem Celtic, and they'll be hoping for that to change their fortunes. But Golden Ladies losing out once again. And straight off the bat, Ntuwane trying to find a cross into the box and not finding the likes of Rapatsa and Pesa there on the far side of the field.
That change from Ntuana is very simple. Technically it means they want to be aggressive in that midfield box, 4 versus 4, 3 versus 3 in the midfield. So Ntuana brings intelligence, play, creativity, but also playing in half spaces, because it's also important. Celtics, they need also to be functional with their creativity. It doesn't help them, but also the final ball has been an issue. So Ntuana brings that calmness, brings that intelligent play, obviously with that creativity.
And it's wave after wave of Bloemfontein Celtic attacks. But yet again, not quite coming off. As you mentioned, the final shot on goal is just not quite accurate enough. The final phase of play just lacking from Bloemfontein Celtic. We sound like a broken record describing this Bloemfontein Celtic attack. And if they're not careful, they can simply lose out, especially at the back. It's easy to rue the chances, and eventually when Golden Ladies attack, it can come back to bite you. But the substitute now into Wane Mothekwana put through, but she's unfortunately just offside there.
I was talking about Celtic's defense. It's error prone because they are not challenged. I mean, the consistent challenges are not coming. So that is why you see sometimes they make those errors. But let's look at this offside. A good call from the assistant.
And having lost 80% of their games this season with only 2 draws, it is no surprise that Golden Ladies have lost their shimmer and shine in the HWBSL Super League. So the situation is looking rather bleak for the coaching staff of Golden Ladies, but the puzzle has not yet been completed for Golden Ladies. And do stay tuned on SABC throughout the season to witness the unfolding of their story, because I sense they do play with a sense of heart and determination, does the side, and if they can replicate this performance throughout the season.
Yeah, I think the FIFA break also will help them. I mean, what's also important, the coach spoke about the player identification. They've already identified about 7 to 8 players. So the team, with this FIFA break, he wants to work on the blending and integration of the new players, but also, I think for me, we need to give credit to 60 minutes, 1 hour of the game. You can see they've started very well. It's a psychological issue that they had with the obvious the players. They need to gain more experience because they're young players.
And a free kick opportunity now for the Golden Ladies. Just losing out once again, a substitute in Tawane trying to find Nicole Michael there. Now slightly shifted towards the infield. They're trying to get involved a little bit deeper onto the ball. Now we're throwing on the far side of that field. Michael puts it in, and a cross immediately put into the box. Mothekwana interested, but Honokola and the defensive line of Mputi and Gagana just marshalling and holding their line very well. And it's hoofed up once again. It seems as if it's the only way Golden Ladies like to attack, and that's from the goalkeeper's boot. And sometimes it has paid dividends, but that's because of Celtic making those defensive errors.
It's very true. It's very true. I mean, what's important is when the team is using the high block pressing, Ray, they are encouraged to play the long ball. But also in terms of playing that dot ball, we spoke about Untimane being isolated against 3 centre backs. She needs to have more numbers around her because she successes the ball very well, but the numbers now let her down because you need that support. You need also the option in order for them to progress their offensive play.
But in such a tight encounter such as this, it might just be the set piece that may prove to be the difference. And it's Golden Ladies now with a set piece. And she decided to go for the shot when Mputi and Gagane made their way upfield and perhaps just wasted their time. And it's a waste of a shot and a wasted chance for the Golden Ladies, making its way all the way to the other side of the field now. And the chips are definitely stacked against Golden Ladies, but can they prove to change that in rather challenging conditions, it must be said, but nonetheless, Tuli.
And not a Celtic and not a Golden Ladies. Yabona ke eselokhu uqalile lo mdlalo umqeqeshi weCeltic ngiyamuka nje umi ngeenyawo. Yabona konke okwenzeka kulo mdlalo abengalindele ngempela, obezitshelwe nje ukuthi ke naye ngoba amanye amaqembu ayazenzela kwiGolden Ladies, naye ke usuku lwakhe namhlanje. Hayi kodwa ke uyabona ukuthi ke izinto ke zishintshile. Ayilikhaya ke ngomunye umhlathi ke namhlanje. Uyabona ke mawubheka ke ukuthi ke ilona qembu eselenze ke inguquko kwamanye. Uyabona ke labo babona ke lapho ekhaya ke umdlalo olandelayo eqembu ke lase Eastern Cape ke leyana ke iCity Lets ezodlala ke amakuphela ke lo mdlalo ke bedlala ke neqembu ke layo ke iRichmond United ke lo mdlalo sizoletha ke bukhoma ke futhi ku SABC 1. Yabona ke lapho babona ke lapho eqembu ke lase Eastern Cape ke leyana ke iCity Lets ezodlala ke amakuphela ke lo mdlalo ke bedlala ke neqembu ke layo ke iRichmond United ke lo mdlalo sizoletha ke bukhoma ke futhi ku SABC 1. Yabona ke lapho babona ke lapho eqembu ke lase Eastern Cape ke leyana ke iCity Lets ezodlala ke amakuphela ke lo mdlalo ke bedlala ke neqembu ke layo ke iRichmond United ke lo mdlalo sizoletha ke bukhoma ke futhi ku SABC 1. akusobe ke kumdlalo ke wogcina ke kuyona ke Hollywood kuyona ke lempela sonto Tawu eliyaphakama iflag kothiwa ke use offside ke lapha uShanteli Ntimane kothiwa ke use offside uShanteli bafuna ijubane lika Michael uyalithola uMichael leliya bhola awuyakwazi ukudlula ke ngempela ke mefuna ukudlula uMichael njengoba kedlula namanje nalegoba leliya bhola uMichael kodwa ke ba defender kahle kakhulu emuva corner kick
defender kahle kakhulu Golden Ladies. They are doing so well at 60 ngishilo ngathi sendlulile hour Julie uMichael ungena behind idefender nge 1v1 kuyasho ukuthi bamtshelile ukuthi noma uthola ama 1v1 qeda sokwazi ukureduce amanamba
awushintsho awuyashintsha futhi ke uThato Haraba awunomtheke uyangena nomonde enomtheke awuyaphuma ke manje eJulia Lifiane awunomtheke abawuqalile ke umdlalo ke ngesikhathi ke bedlala neJVW awuyangena ekhona iyavinjwa yabona manje ke kufakwa ke umdlali ke odlala ke esini kodwa ke oyayo ke phambili
uzoshintsha ama dynamics emidlilini because unomtsheke uyahlala uyi-holding midfielder uyi-pivot uyi-deep lying playmaker so umtsheke uzohlala lapha ubhebisitha ama-center back and then umkhale nontwane bazodlala bazodlala as two attacking midfielders
Ontwane ke omunye futhi ke umdlali odlale kahle kakhulu ngesikhathi bedlala ke nayo ke iJVW naseBethlehem ngesikhathi ke bedlala idraw kaNorth nema Indies awuyena ke futhi ke wayeqalile umdlalo edlala ke kahle ke kakhulu asibongile laphana ke uNtwane wasesibukhenge ona 19 years udlala nje lapha ke eswini oyawakhipha ke amaphasi ngoba ke umqeqeshi uyabona ukuthi isidinga abadlali manje abazofida kakhulu uMichael noMahlakwane ngoba ke uyabona manje bayabuya bazophanda amabhola ukuze baye phambili
mangavumi ithuli ukuthi ukhona ukufida abadlali abaphambili fanele nawe ukhona ukuphanda lapha emidlilini so that is why ubona uNtwane noMukhale bazodlala the attacking midfielder nabo fanele baphande because igame ayilokho kanje ayifuneki igiya zangempela funeka abadlali abaphethe igiya abanoshukela ukuze bavule zonke lezivalo ezivaliwe
nangoku unomtsheke uyabona ke liyaphasi befuna ke yena ke uMohlakwana kodwa ke wase defender laphana ke umphuthi emufuneka izandla umqeqeshi weGolden Ladies umlungisi Nzeku athi ke inenzani lapha emuva nicishe ke nifaka nje amanzi endlini cishe bathola igoli abeCeltic ohlezi phansi ke ugoalkeeper Olerato Khanokala nange la esebenze khona yabona ugoalkeeper namhlanje osebenze kakhulu ama-save interceptor evimba obona oMohlakwana noNicole
ne-crowd yamvuma uyabona i-crowd imenza ukuthi agqugquzeleke indlela adlale ngayo kule first 60 minutes iyajabulisa kakhulu mina ngokuthandayo ukuthi she can use inyawo zakhe urawunakala I mean not inyawo kuphela but also the way acommanda i-defense yakhe ngakhona kuyabonisa ukuthi ugoalkeeper obonisa ukuthi i-goalkeeper coaching bayenza imisebenzi emihle because nalast week ukukhumbula goalkeeper coaching yenze kahle but nasi skillful ka unangushukela ke uMichael ezakhe lezi
ezakho nawe
le marinate zakhe ezami ke lezi hayi khohlwa
ayi ngidliwe ithenda obheke nje leya first touch ya Michael
sizele lezi la sifuna ushukela uliphuza kanjani itiye elimnyama linganashukela
liyababa lelo tiye awusahlezi phansi ugoalkeeper awusahlezi phansi ugoalkeeper Lerato uyabona abadlali beCeltic ukuthi bayasho ukuthi uyedwa kuphela umuntu esehlulayo manje bathwala izandla emakhanda umile lapha epalini goalkeeper 23 years awusuka ke lapha ke eKhunwana village Northwest nangumqeqeshi usanikeza imiyalelo
le ku coaching siyibiza i-throughput coaching kusho ukuthi manje i-opportunity ukuthi ubanikeza i-strategy or u-counter i-strategy se-Golden Ladies so ku-coaching bazokutshela bathi ngesikhathi ubiza ama-player game on sibiza i-throughput coaching uzamonikeza abadlali amaqhinga ukuthi sisikountera kanjani i-strategy se-Golden Ladies already ubanikile i-strategy e-dressing room but manje i-game iletha different
yabona ke Richmond United le oyibonayo ke lapho ke okuyilona qembu ekuyi home ground yalo le izodlala ke nayo ke iCity Leds isuka le Eastern Cape. Richmond ke umdlalo ke olandelayo ke esophinde siubone ke khona ke la HWBSL Stadium. Michael bafuna ke lapha asibongile kodwa bathola ke ikhona abayo ke iCeltic ubuyile ugoalkeeper owenza ke kahle kakhulu ke kulomdlalo. Yabona amakhona eCeltic njalo athathwa uMohlakwana kodwa mina ngokwe height mina bengingamncamela ukuthi kube uyena lamabhola ke awela kuyena ke laphana ke eboxini njengoba ke uyabuya lapha nomcheke enye futhi ke ikhona asibone ukuthi uMohlakwana uzohambani manje ayoyithatha ke ngale la kuthiwa ke i-throw in le
i-throw into the but masakhuluma ngoMohlakwana ukuthi uthatha wonke ama dead ball siwabiza ama standard situations kusho ukuthi uyomnandi when it comes to those situations. That's why umbona zonke indawo noma ngaba nayo height sometimes iplayer ngaba nabo ubude but lingekho right ekhanda in terms of uku-executor. So Mukhalwa she's been taking ama free kick because uyi specialist hayi umuntu odidiyelayo ovubelayo.
Hayi usekhona ke futhi ke phezukwalo ke leliya bhola i-free kick esendaweni ke enhle yabona ke lapha kukhona ke uMohlakwana akekho ke uNkuna omunye futhi ke ononyawo oluhle alwama free kick eshaba uyena uMohlakwana uyayiphakamisa lapha wayiba goalkeeper baseke ebemnyathela kabuhlungu kodwa muhle lapha ugoalkeeper weGolden Ladies.
Ngithanda indlela azipositione ngayo. I mean iwall bekazi ukuthi yenza umsebenzi wayo kune post but she was very cautious in ukushifta sibiza goalkeeper coaches bazotshela ukuthi shifting from the left to the right she did very well but also I think for mina Daspa when it comes to Golden Ladies basebenze kakhulu basifanele babuild kule first and the 73rd minute say igame seyifike khona.
Yabona ke mawongikuthatha nje ngikubuyisele emuva mkhonza ngesonto edlule besilapha eBethlehem lokhu ngikushisa ukuthi ngibona ugoalkeeper enza kahle kangaka iCeltic beyidlala nema Indies iplay of the match lapho okwaba ugoalkeeper wema Indies umonye ethiledi namhlanje futhi ugoalkeeper uyena futhi omile endleleni yeCeltic ukuthi ke ithole u3 points. Yabona nje umqeqeshi ukuthi ubabiza njalo abadlali bakhe njengoba ke onkuna bethola ama yellow card ngathi sekune frustration kakhulu ngoba ugoalkeeper uyabageza
bajahile manje base indlala seyabonakala ubona bathola lama yellow card baba aggressive manje because bafuna but lasikhulume ngale save yaka goalkeeper ngithanda uset up iwall yakhe kahle but ushifte kahle mayi deliverance mayenzakala pheka ushifta kamnandi kanjani and ubonisa ne presence to lot I know ukwami la angeni umuntu la
hayi elakhe ngempela ke lepali ugoalkeeper uLerato 23 years awazalwa ke laphana ke eKhunwana village eNorthwest. Asibone ke la ukuthi wenze njani iJemina Tawu alishiya ke nogama ngakwesokudla ugama uyaligoba eboxini kodwa icross kaGama eyabuya futhi bafuna ke manje lapha umthimane kodwa ke ugoalkeeper oyayilamula ke uNtambose otha bakho nomtheke esingise center ujika kamnandi yaphakamisa amehlo hayi kodwa kuthiwa use offside kodwa ugoalkeeper ubhekile futhi
Thuli ngicela ubheke ugoalkeeper makaphuma itiming yakhe yokuphuma iimportant akaphumi mangeke alithola ibhola makaphuma yes it's an offside le Thuli mara fanele ukukhuluma into important ukuthi ugoalkeeper makaphuma uphuma lithola ibhola.
Ray, we are 15 minutes away from full time now but we're still waiting for the first goal of the match.
Truly, we are indeed waiting, but here might just be a chance for Bloem Celtic to break that deadlock. The score is still 0-0, and it can fall any way. Bloemfontein Celtic, of course, dominating the ball and dominating the chances, but making no imprint on that scoreline. But holding really firm at the back as it now falls to Michael, and hoofed upfield by Makota. Losing out there just ever so slightly, Khonkwala, and taken out by that number 11, Mohlakwana, slightly frustrated. And just a little Sneaky trip there from Muhlakuana as the ball just got away from her. Golden Ladies, of course, a team that calls Mahikeng in the northwest their home. So some travelling and adaptation to conditions for this youthful team to overcome. And I have to say, they've been absolutely perfect when it comes to their defensive display. They've just been slightly missing the mark whenever venturing forward, but they might just sneak one. Here as a shot goes in, deflected, parried by the keeper. Jabaku just holding her breath there, but eventually dealing well with that one and clears it upfield. Golden Ladies now have turned on the afterburners here, and it's a ball put through.
Good position play from Chabaku in that situation, because you could see the ball was too high, so she dropped into the goal line area. But I must speak about how positioned she was, very well positioned. That is why she was able to deal with that situation.
Bloem Celtic still pushing and probing, relentless in their efforts to break the deadlock, of course. There was a substitution during Tuli's commentary, and it's the number 6, Nomcheke, coming on for Lefiane in the midfield. So 2 substitute midfielders onto the field for Bloem Celtic as they try to find a way through the stubborn Golden Ladies defense. Motsukuana might just be interested. Michael, now at the edge of the penalty area, puts a crossing on her left foot. Bloemfontein Celtic still operating in that penalty area. Golden Ladies playing with fire and eventually scratching it away. Another ball in. No, a shot might just fall. Nomcheke trying to squeeze a cross in. Nomcheke, of course, for those of you who pay a key eye to off-field matters, you would have noted that it was made public earlier in the week that it was Celtic's very own, the Iron Lady, as they call her, became the first woman to qualify as a paratrooper in the South African Engineer Corps. Definitely one for the history books for you. There's a corner goes in, but it's regathered by Khonokala.
If you look at Khonokala, she's been doing so well. Obviously, in terms of communication, stage at the back, she's a bit smaller, but she does it very well.
But it's put through here for Bloem Celtic, surely now! And it's a tremendous save from Khonokala, getting her body in the way, and unfortunately, maybe receiving some after effects, some nasty studs there in her rib area.
It's a collision. I mean, if you look at it, the ball played behind the defense, definitely not an offside. But if you look at this situation, she shows bravery, goes into that challenge, and she's been doing so well. I think what's also key about the goalkeeping, it's about how brave you are. Get into those situations. It's a collision with Ramoto. I think she's done so well. She's been keeping the score, she's keeping a clean sheet today.
Ever so brave from this young keeper. And so far, the goalkeeper, Khonokala, definitely one of the players of the match. As you can see there, her ball distribution has rather been on point and a number of saves made. But she's really feeling the effects of that tackle there. But I can tell you what, the pain, she wouldn't mind that pain as long as the scoreline just doesn't say 1-0 to Bloem Celtic.
Definitely. Goalkeepers, clean sheet for them. They've done a good job, especially the team like Golden Ladies have been conceding over 37 goals. So she's been doing so well. They'll build on this performance individually and collectively.
Golden Ladies, of course, with the worst defensive record in the league, conceding a mind-boggling 37 goals. But I tell you what, Khonokala really putting in a match-winning performance here. And it's a point that Golden Ladies could really do with, here as it might prove to take them above that relegation zone and cause about a change in momentum as the long throw-in goes in for Bloem Celtic. But it doesn't get any easier for Golden Ladies with a trip to Durban Ladies next week, and then a home game shortly after that against one of the teams in action later on in the afternoon, City Lads. And a call for a corner there, and not going in favor of Bloem Celtic, clearly frustrated with that one. Mokoena, the captain there, not quite too sure why the corner wasn't given to her side. But our next featured game in Kimberley will feature 10th place Richmond United and 14th place City Lads. It's another high-stakes encounter in the HWBSL Super League, but more so for the City Lads, who currently just sit above those two relegation slots, as Michael, now operating on the ball, finds Motlokwana. She has some space, and the half volley just going wide there.
Mutlokwana's confidence has been low. I mean, with the last 4 games, I've been obviously looking at her in terms of analyzing how she performs, but you can see that she's making from the body language itself and the way decisions that she's taking. It's a switch. It's a look at that switch from Twana. But Mutlokwana, she hasn't been doing well in the last 4. It's all about the psychological issue which she needs to rectify.
And I've just heard in my ear now, the confirmation is that Hanokala is the player of the match. And Golden Ladies clearing the ball away and now biding some time with the ball at their feet. Bloem Celtic so eager and so aggressive when they win that ball back. Michael puts it through. There might just be in here, Bloem Celtic, as the ball goes in all the way to the back post. And eventually going out. It's been frustrating attempts from Bloem Celtic. So eager to get that ball in the back of the net, and maybe just guilty of forcing their play just a little bit too much.
Sometimes the game wants you to be patient. I mean, you look at, when you get to that final third, how patient you are. Sometimes it helps to open up the channels. But the Celtic, they've opened the channels, but now the final ball has become the problem today. But in terms of fluidity, in terms of ball position or dominance, they've done so well. But the issue is the final ball.
Bloem Celtic yet again with another attack, this time a long ball through the crossfield ball. Hanokala once again making an intervention there and preventing Nomsheke from getting onto the end of that pass. And once again a throw to Bloem Celtic. It'll be interesting to see what the statistics say when that full-time whistle comes and if the scoreline remains the same. But it has to be said, Golden Ladies are so rock solid at the back, but goals have come hard to come by with them. Tamane, the number 10 there, the only true contributor, scoring 4 this season, so the goal scoring responsibilities aren't that evenly shared and contributed. Yvonne Motlua, the one coming on for Jermaine Towell in that left wing position. Maybe a change of pace and an insert of pace for Durban, I beg your pardon, for Golden Ladies when they decide to counter-attack.
I think Towell didn't give enough in terms of the width as an outlet or potential outlet. But now we go back, Mumutoa brings the freshness, also maybe probably the speed on the side that they need coming out from defense, that rapid switch coming out from defense. But definitely I believe that it's not a foul. We can see it's 50-50. It's a 50-50 challenge. Mutola missed the challenge in that situation. She missed the ball completely.
Bloemfontein Celtic scratching their heads as to why they haven't broken that deadlock. But an injured player now, Phumzile Mokoena, of course, the captain for Bloem Celtic, the stalwart in defense. And maybe not an ideal substitution to make for Bloem Celtic, but it's a forced substitution and one that will see them making their last sub of this game as a free kick opportunity now for Bloem Celtic. But back to you, Tuli, and it's the excitement levels here are definitely in the red. The game is on a knife edge here, Tuli.
Yabona ke ngempela ke umdlalo uyasemaphethelweni kasibone ke le free kick yinhle le free kick ephuma ke ephezulu kwepali ke lakhe la anozinti ke omuhle kakhulu uGanokala le rato bekuzama ke la uNomtheke ongene ke esombeni esesibili ke ethatha ke indawo ke yakhe Julia Alifiane eyona ke le free kick ephuma ke kodwa ugoalkeeper ubeyibona nje kahle ukuthi ke le ikude ngeke nje ize ke ingidle nakancane iyashintsha iCeltic futhi bafaka manje ke Khanya Pesa ophumzile Mokoena uyaphuma bakhipha idefender bafaka ke umdlali ke oya ke ephambili kusele nje imzuzwana ukuthi ke umdlalo ke uye ke ngasemaphethelweni.
ushintsha i-dynamics to ushintsha indlela because ufuna ukufaka abadlali abazokusiza ngokuya phambili. So njengoba umkhwena aphuma kanje upesa angena iyasho ukuthi umqeqeshi mase akacabanga ngegoli makathola elilodwa because hey kumdisappoint kakhulu indlela abadlale ngayo bebacabanga bazoshaya amaningi amagoli today kodwa akunjalo.
Goalkeeper ke nangu futhi baseke bemshayisa futhi kodwa ke uyabamba unesibindi laphana ke uKhanokala goalkeeper ke wayo ke iGolden Ladies yabona iCeltic namhlanje mangabe lo mdlalo uphela ke ngale draw ka not kuzobe ke kuyidraw ka not yesithathu ngoba ke uzokhumbula ukuthi ngesikhathi ke bedlala ke nayo ke ima Indies noma ke bedlala ke ne-TUT loyo mdlalo ke waphela ngedraw ka not badlala ne-UWC leyo mdlalo waphela ke ngedraw ka not kuyakutshela lokho ukuthi yabona amagoli manje omile kuRamokhala kuMohlakwana kusho ukuthi kumele kube khona abanye abadlali abaphakamisa amasokisi bathola amagoli kuCeltic.
Asikhuluma indaba yango losithathu bashaya iJVW iconfidence ukuzithemba kuphezulu thuli uza kule game udle iJVW abaposition 2 eligini phezulu so ucabanga ukuthi le game le uzothola wonke amaphuzu uthole namagoli amaningi but kuyafundisa ukuthi ebholweni awumdlalo webhola udlalo wegroundini yes ephepheni Celtics looks ukuthi laba bazothola amagoli amaningi but hayi ngokomdlalo hayi namhlanje iGolden Ladies babonisa idust yodwa.
Yabona ke ugoalkeeper ngempela ke wenza ke konke okusemandleni ke ukuthi awumdlalo ke phela ke ngaso ke lescore iGolden Ladies ke ngempela lephuzu ke elilodwa ke namhlanje amakhulunywa nje amaqiniso ke libafanele futhi ke ebona ke ngempela ke iqembu ke elidlale ke kangcono kulo mdlalo ke uyabona ke imidlalo yeCeltic elandelayo njengoba ke kunzima ukuthi bathole amagoli bazodlala ke ne-first touch emidlalweni ke olandelayo iyona ke lapha aloyibonayo ke iRichmond United ezodlala ke nayo ke eCity Lethe iCeltic izodlala ne-first touch emva kwalokho bazodlala ke ne-Durban Ladies bazobe ke bedlala ke ekhaya ke abayo ke iCeltic emva kwalokho ke badlale ke nayo ke iCoal City Wizards bese ke bedlala neCity Lethe naku Ramokhala lapha what a tackle yabona ke namhlanje bamake bamehlula ke laphana ke uMohlakwana ethi ke uqonda nje ngqo laphana ke emapalini kodwa leya defense umphuthi
ichekile khokhelwayo leya Thuli uhahane ichekile yakhe itiming nako konke nokuhlakanipha kule yathekile usize kakhulu bangakora
hayi kakasuki kodwa ke ingozi goalkeeper nayo uthi defense yami iyasebenza nami ke ngeke ngize ke ngiyiphonxe angeke ke ngiyenzele ke phansi yabona ugoalkeeper namhlanje uzwine zonke inhliziyo zabantu abala enkundleni njengoba enza ke leya save ihlwele ziyasukuma zimshayela ke izandla nangu ke la elibambi waboshaya itayela manje wena ayi
usestokfeleni uyaenjoya usebumnandini nayi le tackle kahaka a good tackle from umphuthi lapha le tackle bongayibheka kahle inokuningi Thuli ine timing inokuhlakanipha and makathi uyalithinta nje uMohlakwana hayi umphuthi walifaka unyawo tackle le save ukuthi igole lesingakonsider
asibongile ke intowane ke nangu ezama ke ngena ngakwesokunxele ithola ikhona futhi Celtic uMohlakwana uyena ke oyoyithatha ke le yakhona confidence yazathemba ugoalkeeper asibone ke le khona yesithupha eyavinjwa kodwa futhi nje ekalula 6 corner kicks kuCeltic ayibonwa naye lodwa ke kuyona ke laphana ke iGolden Ladies ye nangu ke manje lomkhathi ke onkinga onophepha uthini lapha abamvaleke kahle kakhulu ebevala ke yena ke uNtimane uyabona manje ke nangu uShanteli noma ke Michael awuNicole Michael ayavinjwa aliphumela ke ngaphandle ke ibhola bayashesha manje nakho ke la bevimba ke laphana ke uShanteli Intimane esebheka ngqo emaphalini eCeltic.
Defensive play lapha, good defensive play, i-timing kaRamoto in that situation make sure kwenza sure ukuthi yes ngiyazi 1v1 but ake ngijahe ngizomlinda alithinte bese ngaliwina.
Cross ka Michael kodwa uyavimba futhi ke emuva lapha umphuthi nomcheke uyalwina ibhola Nicole Michael banikeza unomcheke futhi asibone nje lapha ke ukuthi ke Celtic yacindezela yakhile manje lapha ehafini ke yayo ke iGolden Ladies ebhola labo ke nali ke liphuma ke ngaphandle ne90 minutes isihlangene kothiwa kuzokwengezwa nje 4 minutes nakuyona leyo 4 minutes umzuzu owodwa nesigama usudlaliwe uyabona nali ke le bhola njengoba ke bese hamba yedwa offside lapha uMichael
abaqeqeshi bakhuluma into important bathi iTV abosisi sometimes kubaphazamisa mongabheka iGolden Ladies today kunomdlalo ose-TV tulibheka abadlali kahle kanjani iCeltic yona mongabheka imidlalo yabo siyivezile abaqeqeshi bakhala ukuthi hey iTV ngathi yabaphazamisa so asazi mara into engikushoyo mina ukuthi hayi ibhola limnandi lo
nathi itrubho lenhle kodwa ke uyavimba futhi emuva lapha Dineo awugagane ikhona number 7 ezothathwa ke iyona ke iCeltic omohlakwana futhi akhona number 7 mohlakwana oyayiphamisa yinhle futhi nali thuba lapha awalibamba ugoalkeeper oyalibamba lapha ke ugoalkeeper Lerato akawonakala uyabona ke imidlalo ke elandelayo ke yeGolden Ladies bazodlala neCity Lets bazoyibuka la idlala ngoba ke bazodlala nayo umdlalo ke olandelayo emva kwalokho baye Cape Town ku-UWC onside ke la untimane Chantel yasimshaya ke i-first touch enhle ibhola bekufanele nje aqede lapha untimane akufani ke naye la ngoba ke uyena umdlali oshaya amagoli la ku-Golden Ladies.
I think like by presence of mind truly in that situation final ball needed to be calm in that situation. Remember my striker instinctive, she needed to be intelligent lapha but again she allowed to intercept the ball.
Michael nangu ke naye ke ethi ke uyacindezela kodwa ke ugoalkeeper ke uyalibamba ochitha ke nesikhathi ke la uyena ke ugoalkeeper ngoba ke uyazilow 1 point ukuthi ke bona nje bawusebenzele ngempela 1 point bedlala ke ehambeni abeGolden Ladies asibone la ukuthi ke wenze njani ke Skalvik akaphasi wasephasa nalithuba lapha eceleni kwepali
if umqeqeshi weGolden Ladies yes you do awukalitholi igoli yes it's a point mawudlala idraw but if ubheka le situation ugama good in exchange and ipass yakhe kuSkalvik bekanesikhathi sonke sokuthi adle lapha
asibone ke futhi ke uyabuya ke uSkalvik nange elibamba nje kamnandi ibhola ke elibanjwa ke uyena lapha uSonti bazama ukukhahlela ke bekude manje uyabona ukuthi umqeqeshi uyasho ukuthi ke isikhathi siyaphela zameni noma ke esikude
Tuli asikhuluma into important umqeqeshi weGolden Ladies ukhuluma into important ule 3 weeks break izobasiza kakhulu ukuthi basebenze kuzo zonke inkinga bebanazo njengoba umdlalo uphela kaso iCeltic siyazi ukuthi they didn't do well yes they won during the week ku-HWBSL but umsebenzi usesemningi so Golden Ladies it's a good point.
Golden Ladies ke ngempela ugoalkeeper awenze ke omuhle ke umsebenzi ke njengoba ke umdlalo ke uphela ke ngedraw kanothi eyesithathu ke le draw njengoba ke emdlalweni ke wabo ke ne-first touch badlala idraw ka-1-1 kanti ke babedlale futhi idraw kanothi emdlalweni ke wayo ke we-Tsunami yabona ke umqeqeshi yababonga abadlali bakhe uthi ke nisebenzile ekuhambeni ke esithola ke iphuzu yabona ke abadlali ke be-Richmond laba bathi nje khipha namhlanje ayike umsebenzi ke owenzile nathi ke siyawubona sama opponents siyawubona yabona umohlakwana lo lele lapha phansi uyazi ukuthi namhlanje iqembu ke ulenzele phansi izinto ke azihambanga ke ngokohlelo ukubona ke Michael bebenamathuba kodwa ke ugoalkeeper waseke enza ke umsebenzi ke omuhle ke kakhulu ingakho ke iscore njengoba ke sithi ke full time not Bloemfontein Celtic and not iGolden Ladies. Uyabona ke layo ke i-ball possession ukuthi ke iCeltic iyona ke ekade ke ilibambile ibhola kodwa i-ball possession Mkhonza ayisho lutho mangabe ke igoli ningalitholi nigoduka no 1 point ekuhambeni.
till you can establish control your pole position. Joey Bond is Celtics in 59% your pole position, but bakonile na ukuyuza ukuthi badle. Mara sizoyivenza kahle ngoba mongayibheka kahle Golden Ladies pole position ba function kakhulu without the pole position, but they've done well. Good point for bona. But if you pick up total passes, ngiyasho ukuthi Celtics dominated. Mangayibheka from the graphic le pole position it's 59 to 41. Yes, Celtics dominated.
Okay, sure.
Proceedings, but Pegama passes ama ratio Celtics they've made.
Okay, sure.
I Golden Ladies besha isikhathuni.
Yabona ke izinto ke sizigoqa ke kanjalo ke emidlalweni ke woqala ke wosuku la HWBSL Stadium sithi ke full time score not Celtic and not Golden Ladies. Okhona ke uMapholoba uMangcobo laphana ke nayo ke iplayer of the match.
Joined by Vuyogazi Tobo, who's the Hollywood Bets area manager for Kimberley, to announce the player of the match and do the handover. That way, I hand over to you to reveal the player of the match.
Thank you so much. Our player of the match today is Lerato Gaunagalo.
And it comes as no surprise, the lady that was in goals for Golden Ladies, making a number of crucial saves in this encounter. Namhlanje, Lerato Siswami, your first clean sheet as a team, and how does it feel to get player of the match in this encounter?
Can I correct you on that one? It's the second clean sheet. So, like... Okay.
Uzizwa kanjani dadwethu ngeperformance yakho?
What can I say? I'm very happy, and I switch on my mind, telling myself that I want to get this 2,000 rand, and I wouldn't have done it without my teammates.
And do you think there is any particular save that you made namhlanje that stood out from the rest, where you thought leli lingangena noma kanjani kodwa ngizolibamba?
Is that one, that corner one, that I jumped and made a swimming pool on it. So
you jumped and you made a swimming pool in it, and you walk away with 2,000 rand as well as that trophy. Congratulations, Dadwethu. Job well done.
Thank you.
That is the player of the match. We saw her making quite a number of crucial saves here today. We do now bring in her coach, Coach Nzeku. Coach, uzizwa kanjani ngeperformance yeqembu namhlanje? Ushilo ngenkathi saqala ukuthi ufuna ukumake sure ukuthi uyavala ngapha by the wings, and that you managed to hold things and control things in the midfield, and the team managed to do that.
Credit must go to my players. They show that character. They play according to the plan. We close them down. They must not pass in the midfield. That was the plan. We play according to the plan. And I must say to them, they come, they give us a run for our money, but the plan worked for us. We pack that midfield. We bring the wings down. When we have the ball, we spread with one attacker coming deep and use our wings. But we remember when we lose the ball, we pack that midfield in the mid. That was a game plan altogether.
Congratulations, Coach, for keeping to that game plan and walking away with the points today.
Yes, we're not playing with the robot, but we play. I said credit must go to my goalkeeper also. What a wonderful performance. I'm so happy for him. Thank you.
Coach. Siyabonga, Coach Nzeku.
Yes, sir.
All right, and now we bring in Coach Tato Harabe of Bloemfontein Celtic. Coach, in this game, you dominated the ball and the opportunities, but the impact on the scoreline not evident today.
I don't even know where to start or what to say. So disappointed, honestly. So disappointed. We are addressing the same thing every week, but it's not improving. You know, the last time we played at home, the goalkeeper of the opponents was the one that would
the player of the
exactly.
match.
Now it's happening again today. It shows that we are from the back going forward. We're doing everything right, but it's just that the taking responsibility and also the final. Our decisions in the final third.
Unlucky here, Coach, but you do get a point to take away from this encounter.
For me, it's not enough. Honestly, it's not enough. You know, when you look at the log, one cannot afford to drop points at this moment. So, but anyway, we'll go back and try to rectify our mistakes, and hopefully things will get better.
Thank you, Coach. Hard luck. That is, of course, Coach Tato Haraba of Bloemfontein Celtic. What a game we've witnessed on our hands here today. None of the teams being able to find the back of the net. But Coach Nzeku happy with the team's performance here today. He says they stuck to the game plan. They made sure that they got the job done in the midfield. And, of course, commending his goalkeeper, who was the player of the match here today. But on the other side, for the home side, Coach Haraba not happy at all. And he says the fact that the goalkeeper of Golden Ladies is the player of the match here today shows that they were getting the opportunity, but they were not clinical in the final third. Really not happy with the performance here today, and will look to pick it up in their next encounter against First Touch. But that's how we wrap up the action for now from here at the De Beers Stadium in Kimberley. We take you back to the three ladies in studio to give us full-time analysis.
It does end in a goalless stalemate between Bloem Celtic ladies and Golden Ladies. And for Golden Ladies, this means it is the first time in their 5 meetings that they've registered a point against the Bloemfontein-based side. And of course, that's how it ends. A very huge congratulations to the goalkeeper there, who was the difference between the two teams. Later on, we'll be bringing you another exciting one. It will be Richmond United up against the debutant City Lads, so do stay tuned for that.
Over 3 billion people around the world are now exposed to the worst impacts of our warming planet. This is the shocking reality published in the latest report by the UN's Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change. In the most comprehensive study to date, 270 scientists from